Pardon me, I'm just preparing a early breakfast here today. Okay, there might be some crunching going on because I have a crunchy cereal and, of course, traditional tea. Can't get away with that. Which in a moment. Okay, kind of a simple question. And the question is, why do you listen to my show? Why do you listen to my show if you're going to critique it? And they come back, and they come back. I don't have a good channel, show. I don't, you're this, you're that, you're this, and you're that. But yet, you come back and you listen. I get emails now and then. Of course, a lot of nice words and praise. Okay. No, it is a good question. If you don't like me or my live streams, why do you come back? Because you want more. I must be doing something right. It's just too bad I'm not capitalizing on all of this. Oh, isn't today, no, it's not Barry's anniversary of 23 months, is it? No. It would be the 28th, right? 28. Good morning, Philippines and elsewhere. Having a glorious morning here. Had my cereal, having my green tea, of course. Can't face the morning without my green tea. What's this morning's topic? Well, we're going to get topical here. Doesn't mean I'm going to have a long show, but what is all this stuff in my arm? Okay. It's very curious as my top fans are my biggest critics. Or actually, the other way around. Let's say my biggest critics are my biggest fans as they turn out to be. Which is it? You love me or you hate me? I don't know. Or you love to hate me. Or a combination of both. I don't know. Go figure. Yeah, I get emails now and then from some oddballs. Nothing new. I said, but you're criticizing me for this and that, but yet you watch. Yet you watch. What's with that? I don't force anybody to listen to my show. And that's entirely voluntarily. Very interesting concept here. Just like a television set or anything else, you can turn it off. You can choose to listen to somebody else, but they're always drawn back to listen to every show that I put on. What's with that? I don't know. Perhaps they really like me and they just don't want to admit it because it wouldn't look good for their gentleman's club out there. They don't want to be critiqued by anybody else. And all they have to really do is just admit, you like me. You really like me. Quote, Sally Fields. Well, I think a lot of people are confused out there a lot. Oh, let's call it, they're being pressured by their peers. Although they like me a lot, they're afraid of what other people are going to think. Don't worry about the other people. Let the hounds out. Unleash the hounds. And just join me. Join me. Join me. Pardon me, I'm, of course, multitasking. I usually do when I put on a show to make it worthwhile my time. I got to take care of business, too, at the same time. Okay. It's kind of like a topic matter in itself. People love to put their opinion out and say, I don't like your content, and you repeat yourself, and so forth and so on. And sometimes I get people to write me about things like that, and I say, well, you're obviously still watching. If it's so much of a burden to listen to me, or whatever reason you have a dislike for me, why do you listen? Well, it's because they actually do like me. And they do like listening to my show, because most of the shit out there is just piss-ass boring. Which I found to be true. There's very few people I actually listen to on YouTube. More obscure channels than anything else, really, that most of you may not even be familiar with. There are a lot more Philippine bloggers out there that you might not be aware of. And it's not this little tight-knit group of haters that we're so used to hearing on here. Believe me, the Philippines blogging genre is very vast. Very vast. You might want to try kind of stepping out of the box a little bit and listen to what's actually out there, that you might actually like some of these shows. But it's a simple solution. If you don't like somebody's YouTube channel, you don't have to listen to it. And that's a personal choice that you have to make. So I guess there's no reason to criticize somebody if you're going to watch their show religiously. Then there's really no room to complain. Well, at least that's the way I see it anyway. And a lot of people say, well, most of the people that watch you, they're all trolls. They're all laughing at you, and you just don't know that they're trolls. Well, I've answered that question before. I said, whether they're trolls or not, they come to my channel and they engage in conversation and they don't cause any trouble. I don't have a problem with them. I know there's a lot of trolls out there. Of course I do. I'm not that stupid. But, I don't forcibly make people watch my show or comment on it. So I'm not going to do a long show this morning, except I do get a few emails every now and again. Oh, always Timmy, of course. Find a way to settle this with Barry, Frank. Please, please. I say, okay, Barry, Well, I got a couple of people that write me every now and then. And I know who it is. It's Barry, trying to intimidate me to drop the case. But unfortunately, the intimidation just doesn't work. I said, okay, Barry. This is not Barry. I swear. Yeah, well, the language is there, it's Barry. No, not all of them. It's not that I have a lot of people write me. I don't. It's about 4 people, actually, that really periodically put in an email to me. And I just recognize the language and so forth, and I could pretty much figure out who it is. It's not that hard. So you've been listening as long as I have on here. You become accustomed to their style of talk and verbiage. So it's not hard to figure out who they are. Hello, Heminger. You the first again. Oh, yeah. There's no doubt about that. Yeah, he's one of them. But Barry himself is another one. Yeah. No, this ain't Barry, But yet he'll call me the same expletives or whatever. Yeah, it's same shit. It's not that hard to figure it out. Not really. Just read it twice, and then you may recognize something about, sentence structuring, common insults that this person has done over and over again. It's really not that hard. But they think they're fooling me. So what's going on, Mrs. Heminger? I'm not going to do a long show this morning here. Just got done skiing in the Swiss Alps, I'm sure. I'm sure you did. Hemi, you never really said what your age was. I assume you're a male. And what's your age, by the way? What's your age? You can tell that much, right? Without giving yourself away. Well, I already had that because I had some cereal. I had to use almond milk for that. It's not really what I really wanted for breakfast. I just didn't feel like cooking up anything. And what I had to cook up anyway would probably not be really healthy. Well, actually, you know what the old standby is? And a lot of people do this also. I can't say it's the healthiest. I can't say it's the unhealthiest, but simple. Potatoes and eggs. It's a good standby when you can't think of anything else to make. Potatoes and eggs. Just take your fries or whatever. If you have any whole potatoes, you could grate it up or whatever you want to do. Potatoes and eggs. And if you want, you can make a couple pieces of toast with that, make a sandwich out of it, or it's not a big deal to make. Yes, I absolutely am. Yeah, I am. Well, here's a theory. See, humans are the only mammals that drink milk from another mammal. It's kind of unorthodox, if you want to call it that. No, almond milk doesn't have all this cholesterol that milk has, and it has the protein, and maybe even a little bit more than milk. I'm not sure. I forgot. Yeah, there's really zero saturated fat in there, for one. It's actually healthy for you. Yeah, regular milk is okay for kids to drink in their growing stages. That's pretty universal around the world. Some kids grow up in different countries that grow up on goat milk, and that's horrible. I tried it once, almost threw up. But we're the only mammals that drink the milk of another mammal, actually. Wilson Gills, good morning to you. No, almond milk is even has fiber in it. I mean, it's a healthy alternative to drinking milk because most people over a certain age, I don't mean old, I mean from a younger age, become lactose intolerant. Then they wonder, why. Okay, for example, I'll give you an example. There was one time, boy, I suffered from that. It was one of those days where a long time ago, I had ice cream several times. And I was eating cheese along with that later on during the day or something. Whether it started off with a cheese omelet and then, I don't know, I used cheese for something else during the day or something, a different meal. And my stomach, it really went through hell. You'll get a little pain in the stomach, you'll get some gas, you'll get, bloating. It's your body's way of saying that I don't want this lactose. And his boy George, Hemingway says, Frank, the more dairy I have, the less lactose intolerant I become. I've actually upped my dairy again lately because when I stopped eating as much, I had more side effects. Well, I don't know. I can't answer that. How the body reacts to stuff, really. Now, I don't know. It's hard to say. Maybe your body's built up a tolerance to it or something. Anything is possible. You have to force your body. Thank you, boy George. I was watching something that's so true. This happened several years. I don't know when it happened. The radio station had this contest, and you'd win some kind of a Wi-Fi something or other. I don't know what. And the idea was you were given a certain amount of time, and you had to drink as much water as you can. Wow. I guess that radio station closed down because the woman went home and she drowned in her own body. You can't oversaturate your body with too much water. If you add salt to it, you might be saving yourself. But what happens is when you overflow your tissues in your body, your stomach and everything with too much water, it's going to be absorbing the salt in your body, the sodium that you need. The sodium is what's going to save your life, really. The problem is it's like internal drowning. It's like drowning without drowning in a lake. It's your body can only handle so much water at one time. Then they suggest that you drink like at least 2.5 liters of water a day. You can do that. You spread it out during the day. But if you sat in one session and you tried to drink 2.5 liters of water, you could be causing mortal damage to yourself. Yeah, they got these stupid contests too where how many hot dogs can you eat till the bell goes off? And that's another stupid thing that stupid humans do. There's a lawsuit waiting to happen. You can't sit there and consume 30 hot dogs. Your stomach does stretch out quite a bit to accommodate a certain amount of food, but that's all it can do. It can rupture too, number one. Number two, when you eat that much food, the blood flow that is normally meant to go to your heart is diverted to your digestive system. Henceforth, there's blood that's going to be withdrawn away from your heart, and it's going to go to your digestive system. Henceforth, the heart attack could come on. So you can't win. And that's why you see at these buffets when, people have to pay a certain price for food. The average person wants to get their money's worth. I'm not paying this much and just going in there and eat one dish. So they just pig themselves out. And what happens? What I just said happens. A lot of blood flow that's meant to go to your heart is now going to go to your digestive system. And you wind up having a heart attack at the buffet. When I lived in Seattle, there was a place called the Royal Fork, which is a buffet place, all you could eat thing. I used to call it the Rusty Fork, my nickname for it. But they'd come in there, these fat guys, and boy, the businesses hated when the fat guys came in. They said, oh, there goes our profit. Because say it was $12 at the time to get that meal. But these guys would come in and they would eat a hell of a lot more than $12 worth of their food, and plus desserts and cakes and everything else. It was a circus. You can't do that. Your body functions a certain way, man, and it reacts to things all the time. There's always a cause and effect, Watching a military movie last night, and they were giving the soldiers salt pills. Yeah, when you sweat, military that go out on, in fact, they were talking about that too. The military personnel, they would have to go out on these really long hikes, and they're carrying heavy weights. Sometimes the average pack of officer, of military men would be 70 pounds at least. And they'd have to go out in, sunlight or whatever kind of weather it was, and you'd be sweating your ass off, but then you're losing a lot of sodium. If you don't replace the sodium, then you're going to have some problems. So you need those ions, you need the electrolytes. And right here in the Philippines, I've experienced that. On an extra hot day, first of all, your pulse rate's going to go up. And your normal body temperature, 98.6, whatever. So when your body temperature goes above that, okay, you got a natural cooling system, and it's your sweat, really. But if you lose all the salt, and, you're not sweating out the toxins. When it comes to a point where that's how it keeps your body, it's like a thermostat. You're sweating in a way as a thermostat. And then when you stop sweating, because there's really no more water because you're dehydrated, that's when the furnace effect happens, and your body overheats, your brain, and this and that, and this and that, and you have a real problem. Well, I don't know much about the hydrogen water. I've heard of it, but I don't know. I wish I could intelligently talk to you about hydrogen water and why and all that, but I honestly don't really know. I've heard about it before. To do, unless your blood pressure is really, really badly up there, you don't want to eat too much salt. And I, for one, am a person that doesn't put salt in his food at all. But it kind of gets balanced out. There's a lot of products you eat have salt in it or sodium, But what I do every now and then, if I don't have any Gatorade, or I like to buy Pocari Sweat. But if you don't have, make your drinking bottles and take some sea salt, you know, and put it in there. Don't have to put a lot. Just put some sea salt in your water. Not, enough to where it's going to say, I feel like I'm drinking fucking seawater. But enough to make the difference to provide your body with some of that sodium it needs. It's really imperative that you do that. Especially out here, if you're living in the tropics, and you will sweat a lot and you're losing, you're dehydrating, and you're going to need some salt, potassium, and all that good stuff. Have you noticed when you're really thirsty, you crave a Coke, not water? No, not me. Really? Tortoise. No, I don't crave soda at all. I don't drink soda. It's very rare that I drink soda. Every blue moon, and that's, not often. I might get the urge and I'll buy like an A&W root beer, a can of A&W root beer, occasionally. Hardly ever, really. Now, my lips generally don't touch soda because it's so full of high fructose. Look, I can't be perfect in my diet. I can't be perfect in everything I do. But I try to do my best. And sure, I cheat a lot. I have a cheat sheet when it comes to foods. Especially if I'm really hungry, there's nothing around. And they happen to buy some kind of a snack cakes, little pre-packaged little things or something. I'll eat that, or yeah, but I'm not bad though. As I said, you'll never see potato chips in this house. You'll never see pretzels. You'll never see any Fritos and shit like that. We don't have that. I know better. It's really hard enough maintaining your life to stay alive, when you're in your started your seventh decade of life. It's really hard. Boy, I had a dream or something last night. Threw me out of bed almost. I thought something was happening with my chest. Do you ever go to sleep and all of a sudden you end up kind of like, I sleep on my chest basically initially. You just, all of a sudden your sleep is abruptly awake. Ding! You're just like, something went on in your body. You had this jerk. You had this jerk that woke you up. So what the fuck was that? It turned out to be nothing, but it was interesting, I'll tell you that. Woke my ass up. Lucid dreaming. I don't know what it was, man. It happened twice consecutively. Then I went to sleep and everything's fine. I would think, am I having a fucking heart attack? I said, what the fuck is going on? No. Pulse good, everything. It was like, man, it's kind of hard to explain. All right, I was sleeping and something jolted me up. Just jolted me out of my sleep. Something going on in my torso or something. A muscle spasm, something. It woke my ass up. Quick. I'm thinking, is this a big one, Elizabeth? As Fred Sanford would say, is this the big one? Makes you think. Makes you think. Lucid dreaming is where you're conscious of your dreaming and you could almost take control of it. Sort of living vicariously through your dreaming. No, I know it's sleep paralysis. No. I don't think it was that. I've actually experienced that one time. And one time only. Interesting phenom. Where, I don't know when this was, but I experienced that. It's when you wake up, but you can't seem to move your muscles. like something is holding you down. I thought it was a mean spirit or something, a ghost with the most or something. And it was holding me down. I'm, what the fuck? Yeah, there is sleep paralysis. And I know I experienced that at least one time that I can remember. That's scary, man. Sleep paralysis is where you're awake, but you can't move because your body is still in a sleep state. Yeah, like if you got suddenly awakened. Mm-hmm. I think you're right on that. So I did experience that. But it makes you think that, is there like some spirit in the room that's holding you down, some demon? Like Barry's over there, he's pressing down on my chest. Not allowing me to move or something with all this weight. Oh, that could be scary, man. But last night, yeah. No, my pulse was good, all that shit. It was all good, but it made you think for a second there. I even told Gilda about it this morning. I said, man, I don't know what I was dreaming about at the time. I don't know. But it was a rude awakening. I would call that a rude awakening. I just jumped like an electric shock. I was laying on my belly. That's how I know. I wind up turning over overnight, whether I know it or not. But laying in that position, and all of a sudden, something just jerked me out of my sleep. Boom! What the fuck was that? I was really thinking like old Fred Sanford. Elizabeth, I'm coming to join you, Man, made you think. Made you think. Ever sleepwalk? No, I don't believe I ever have. There are people, don't take, what do you call for sleep? What do you call medicine? Because you will sleepwalk. There's that one medicine that's pretty common for sleeping. And, people have been known to sleepwalk with that shit. There are people that have ex-wife sleeping state. Well, all I know is last night I'm getting down on my antibiotics now, and I had asked I said to Gilda, do you notice if I took my antibiotic during dinner? She said, no, I didn't see. She goes, count how many you got left. And she was right. I didn't. So I kind of took that before I went to bed. Now, I don't know if an antibiotic would have contributed to that. I don't know, because I have no idea. Everybody's body reacts differently, Oh, the Ambien, that's it, yeah. My friend Bill, his girlfriend of how many years, long time, she takes Ambien. And sometimes you will walk in your sleep. I was over his house one time in Ocean Shores when I was visiting the area. And she knew I had to take something to sleep. She said, well, I'll tell you what, I'll give you one of these, but you're going to have to plan to go to sleep right away because it's pretty fast acting. But I took her Ambien, and I didn't fall asleep fast or nothing like that. But she takes a lot of this shit. I think she built up a tolerance for this. But the problem was she was taking so much of that Ambien that she'd be sleeping in until noontime the next day. And she wasn't getting house chores done and things like that. And Bill, I guess, had to, do a lot of the work there because she spending most of her time sleeping. And there's a little bit, overkill with that. You're going to have to double up your dose now. Of what? No, I've actually reduced my shit, what I usually take for bed. I've reduced it in half. I still manage to get to sleep. Although, taking a whole dose of it, I think works slightly better. But I don't get beyond 6 hours unless I wake up at night or wake up, in the wee hours of the morning, approaching the time I normally wake up, and I just put my head back down and fall asleep again. Then I'll get a little bit more time. I guess that's allowable. It adds up. Yeah. I don't know if I'm getting deep sleep, even though I get REM. You're not always getting that deep, satisfying sleep where if you would ask me, well, do you feel really refreshed after a night's sleep? I'd have to say no. I know that the rare times that I've ever slept during the day, and that's rare, if I took a nap during the day, which I just don't do, you wake up from that and you feel really refreshed. You ever notice that if you ever took a nap during the day? It's different when I nap at night. I don't necessarily feel like, my arms are stretched and, I'm feeling so relaxed, I'm feeling so rejuvenated. I don't always feel that way. You need 9 what? Oh, come on, Hemi. 9. That might kill you. If you're talking about Ambien, I don't know. Nah. You're just pulling my chain on that. More does not mean better in life. Understand that. More does not mean better. More money does not mean better. More food don't mean better. More water don't necessarily mean better. 9 to 10 hours. I wish I could get it because that's what they're saying. That no matter what age you are, you should get at least 8 or more hours in, especially children. But the only time I ever got really good sleep like that, it was that I was actually working and I had a job. And I knew I had to get up in the morning, generally would be early. It's according if I was going to work at a community center, which was far away from where I lived in North Seattle area, on the other side of town where you don't really want to be. Trust me, with his shootings and all kinds of drug shit going on at that time. When you work all day, yeah, you're going to get better rest at night. But, when you're retired, you're getting older, you tend to lose sleep, and it seems to be very common. But it still doesn't mean that you don't need the extra sleep. You said you pee a lot, so I need an extra hour to 10. If I don't have to get up during the night, it's probably be fine with 8.5 or 9. Frank, why do you have insomnia? I've never had insomnia. In fact, no, it's getting to sleep and staying asleep. Okay, so I don't know. I think I have ADDH, whatever, attention deficit disorder, which I've noticed. There's a lot of people on YouTube that clearly have that. And there's a reason why I say that. But it's being pretty common these days too. But if you go to sleep with a lot of shit on your mind, and you don't even have to be thinking of anything, it's just internal, this is, of course, well before these court cases and shit like that, Excuse me. Still got my tea left here. I've always been that way. It's like you got this information highway. It's like a ticker tape thing, news flashes on a digital display. You got all this information highway that's going on, And that's one of the reasons I think I would take something to aid me in my sleep. It's not the full answer. I never went for a sleep study, and I was supposed to do that. My brother did that shit. God, they told him he stopped breathing like 90 times a night. Can you imagine that? Wow. That's why Ricky takes his, he's got medicines, believe me, I assure you, but that's why he takes his, what do you call a mask, forces air down his lungs, open up his airways, and he's got like a sleep apnea thing going on, He has to take that every night. And that's very hard if you're in a relationship, you're going to be with a woman, because those things can be quite noisy. Dave Phelps, in fact, I remember for sure, Dave Phelps had to use a CPAC unit besides Ricky. Is that how Jack died? I told you, man, all these trolls, they all fucking drink like a fish, man. When do they fucking not learn? I mean, when do they learn? No, everybody has some kind of affliction, I guess. Not everybody, but I think a lot of people do. Whether you drink, whether you smoke, whether you overeat. There's Boy George. I'm a man of conviction. Boy George had some good tunes. No matter what he looked like or what he tried to present himself to be, kind of a androgynous look, but Boy George was he was quite talented. I didn't listen to all of Boy George's music, but he had some good tunes in there, The boy had style. He had style. Let me tell you, maybe he didn't continue big on his career, but every now and then somebody comes up, I like to look up their net worth, just kind of see where they stand today. And he has a lot of money. He did well. He has millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. I forgot how much it was, but he's not hurting anytime soon financially. Let's put it that way. Oh, Tiny Tim. I must say that's got to be one of the ugliest people that I've seen. Tiny Tim. That schnoz of his and his hair, But Miss Vicky married him. Well, for the money, because he was starting to make some money. Then I think Miss Vicky divorced him. He was a phenom in his own way. He was, people took an interest in him because they can't believe what they were looking at and listening to. His voice, the falsetto, and his overall general looks. The Crying Game. Isn't that the one? I think I know exactly what you're talking about. Isn't that one where this guy falls in love with a woman that he thought was a woman, and then when she went to take her clothes off, she exhibited a penis, had a 3-piece set, and he went in the corner and he threw up. But then he was so in love with this person that he accepted it and didn't care. Is that the same one? Because I've only seen it once. I think that's the same one. That's a very interesting situation. You fall in love with somebody thinking that they're one thing, they turn out to be another. Would you still want to be with them? That's a good question. That's it, right? Okay. All right. Memory ain't that bad. Would you still want to be with somebody that you thought was a female, you fell in love with because you didn't have any sex at the time? Then when it came to have sex, you find out this so-called beautiful woman had a 3-piece set. The question is love, right? Would you stay with that person because you love them, or will you leave them and just get out of that relationship ASAP? He died on stage, did he? Tim the Chin. I think I remember seeing a clip on that. Worked hard. New name in here now. Good question. What would you do? I mean, Ricky has this affixation to ladyboys. Do you think from that one known experience that we know of that he has continued in that direction? I don't even know who you are, Warthog, really. Obviously a troll. See, that stupid alarm keeps on going off, even if a leaf moves out there. We have another addition here. But every time something moves, it's a motion detector, and every time something moves, it's got to be pointed the right way. If a tree moves or anything like that, ding, ding, sounds like a 7-Eleven door. Hear that? So I got to listen to that all day. Yeah, you hear that? Oh, most people on my show are trolls, that's why. As if I didn't know that. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't know. We've had this thing for such a long time. She found it again. She decided to put it up, make use of it. More of a burden than a help, I think. I don't know. We have some funny devices around here, actually, that people not even aware of, and they wouldn't be other than the CCTV cameras, actually. That's very apparent to people, but there's other little things. See, I didn't get a thank you from my neighbor. I went over there yesterday where somebody baked us fresh bread, loaf of fresh bread, and we didn't need that much, so I went to my neighbor, and his wife was home, and she's trying to lose weight, so she didn't want to eat bread. I said, well, her husband would like it, because I gave him once before. I didn't even get a thank you for it. He usually does. Do you prefer brown rice or white rice? Well, when there is rice, and I'll eat it occasionally as a filler, I'll eat the white, but on my, historically, I've always eaten brown rice. It just takes longer to cook. It's just a little better than white rice, and jasmine is white, but that's a little better, referring to carbs and stuff, than white rice. Same as white bread, white potatoes, white rice. Anything white, the kind of carbohydrates are not complex carbohydrates. That's why you eat the sweet potatoes. But when we do a roasted chicken, then I'm not really picky. I love roasted chicken with the roasted potatoes around it when you cook it in the oven. Yeah. And I don't care. I don't care about the carbs and that. All I know is they taste good. Goes with that chicken real well. I love potatoes, no matter what form they are in. Funny so you say that, Frank, because we're going to put one up too. Since someone was walking through our backyard, they finally caught him in a neighborhood. Well, actually, talk about arsenic and stuff, kidney beans and other kind of beans, if you were to buy them dry in a bag, you're going to have to really soak them for a long time. There is actually, I think, arsenic or something in there, naturally. I know there's some kind of toxicity to arsenic or something, but you couldn't just eat a hard kidney bean at all. I mean, who would want to try to eat a hard kidney bean anyway? There's some other beans too, not just the kidney beans, but the kidney beans is just one thing that comes to mind, and it's actually toxic. So that's why you got to boil it, and you got to boil it really good, and it releases those toxins. But I bet that's something you didn't know. It's actually heavy in toxins. It could really make you sick or worse. Well, you don't know what's in your food these days. You really don't know. But you want to stay away from xylitol. That's not good for you. You'll find that in gum and other products. And don't ever give your dog anything with a xylitol in it, or your pet. That could kill him. Yeah, xylitol. Look at your ingredients and some of the stuff you eat, and before you give your dog anything other than their normal kibble, whatever, examine what you're giving them before you do that. Oh, I love beans. Not plain, I don't eat anything too much plain. I take kidney beans right out of the can. If you don't know what to eat at night or whatever meal it is, say you didn't go shopping, you're low on food, or you just don't know what to eat, I just get creative. Was there leftover chicken from another meal? Take the chicken. Was there leftover rice from another meal? Take the rice, mix it up with the kidney beans, and get bold, and add some, you can just add some butter to that, salt and pepper, and you got a good meal. You're getting plenty of protein and fiber from the beans and chicken, and I'm a rice and bean guy. I could be. I have no problem with rice and beans. If you can't think of what to eat and you want to fill your stomach, it's not all that bad, except, the carbs from the rice will turn to sugar and all, but the beans are good. They got protein, they got iron, they got all kinds of shit. Like me with the lentils, me with the lentils, right? Yeah. They have a lot of iron in it, protein, and it's really part of a Mediterranean diet, really, type of thing. My diet is oatmeal and blueberry cupcakes. Yeah, you wish. Half my diet is oatmeal and buttercups. Oh, you lie so much, Hevinger. Come on, you lie so much. You lie so much. Is your brother Barry? Is Barry your brother? Yes, I do. Before I go to bed at night, about quarter to half teaspoon, not a lot. You get the runs with that. If you combine that with vitamin C and magnesium and sugar, you're going to get the runs the next day, so be prepared. You can only take so much of something, and you realize that magnesium, though it serves you very well in so many goddamn ways, it also could be detrimental. I mean, it can be, it could back up on you. Buttercups is a crucial part of my diet. Buttercups. Well, just make sure it's extra virgin olive oil in a dark bottle, not a clear, see-through, transparent bottle, and keep it at room temperature. And I'm a man of conviction. You're gonna get me singing Boy George all day. Now, don't get me to do that. Is that all coming from there? Jeez.
When you pick some clothing, so they just pull out. So how?
Dang! Look at that. Got some broken hangers, and that all comes out of the one clothes closet, huh? Well, one thing about having it's a fairly big house, not huge, but there's a lot more cleaning to do all the time. And what the kids don't do is, they don't help as often as they should, sweeping up in their room or under the bed or doing this or that. We just attacked their room yesterday. Might even rent it out during the holy time. 5,000 a night, 5,000 pesos. It's up to her. I might do that. I don't like strangers in here, really. Then the dog's going to bark at everything overnight. Because, they're going to come in at free will overnight. They're going to go out into town and do whatever they do, drinking. They have to come in the house. The dogs are going to get alerted to that. They're going to bark and wake everybody else up. And then they're really unsure of these people, so you never know what's going to happen. So, yeah, it's one of those things where, sure, why not turn space for Holy Week when they can't find this town, the influx of people coming in on Holy Week, tourists, the holy rollers, they need a place to stay. They don't care where. Now, it's different if we had a room with a separate entry. They could come and go as they please. They're not going to interfere with anything in the house. If it was self-contained, it had a bathroom in it, or whatever, AC and all that. But I'm very funny about having strength. We've had in the past at the other house a few times people that desperately needed a place to stay and all that. And we were very fair about the price. We didn't gouge them like everybody else did. Frank's Bed and Breakfast. Frank's Airbnb. A magnesium challenge stream? Why would I do that? We all need magnesium, and most people are not getting it. Nerve function, muscle function, and so many things with magnesium. I don't know, man. I just live every day. I just do the things that I do as far as diet and supplements. I can't, I can't expect everybody else to. Although people are catching on, though, they're really curious. Well, Frank made it to his age now. He must have done something right. I think I'm going to try it. Even John Blaze's wife is my newest fan, and she's starting to do the things I do. So that's interesting in itself alone, isn't it? John Blaze's wife, of all things. I just do my thing, and I talk about it on here, and I don't expect everybody to go throw away all the crap food in their cupboard and go on a diet or anything to do that I do. I just talk about it, and the way I see it, if somebody learns something about it, that's great. I'm glad that I influenced somebody. True, Frank started. No, I always took magnesium. Johnny Warrior died of lack of magnesium. How do you know that? It was a lack of magnesium. How do you know that on a biological level? But I'll tell you what, it's no joke when you're living in the tropics, and this applied to me when I lived in Hawaii too. The same applied, a little more severe in the Philippines when you go out in this humid weather and it's really hard. Now April is coming, and anybody who's familiar with the Philippines will know that that's the beginning of the really hot, sweaty season, and you really got to watch yourself. And I'm a prime example for that when I went to the salon that time, and that's exactly what happened. And I passed out for a few minutes. It wasn't 20 minutes. I don't know where that came from. I don't know, but it was a few minutes. And that was enough. Even if it was 30 seconds, that would have been enough, But hydration. Hydration. You walk around, you're sweating, you don't realize how much sweat. You think that your whole shirt's going to be covered with sweat, but it doesn't work that way. You're out in the open air. It dries things off real quick. You don't even know how much you're sweating. You have no clue how much you're actually losing. He should have never listened to me. Oh, he had a thyroid issue? I didn't know what his issues were, really. All I know is he came home, right? This is all I heard. He came home, walked in the house, and dropped. That's all I heard in front of his family. Am I correct on that? How the event happened? I mean, that's my point. You just never know when something's going to happen. You just don't know. You think you're healthy as sin, or maybe you've had problems before and you just ignored some of them because you didn't think it was detrimental. I mean, you didn't think it was anything really serious to worry about. You just took it for granted, and then boom. No, I don't miss him either. These are all trolls on me. They're all dying off. All my trolls are dying. What's with that? I don't know, Jerry, but it's happening. Jerry, please tell me. Tell me it's not lupus. Tell me it's not lupus. Remember when when George was in the hospital, and he must have had family members or something that had lupus, and he didn't want to have no lupus. George, how neurotic he is. And he was freaking out, thinking that he may have lupus. And that was the last thing he wanted. You talking to me? Yeah. And what are you saying? The cooker.
That's bad.
I can't hear you from the other room very well. Too much echo. You know my ears. Johnny Ware was trying to get friendly with you near the end, but he would have turned on you. They all turn on you. They're friendly, then they turn on me. You know, it's according to what day it is, what side of the bed they get out of. I guess Poop Eye's having a show at 8 a.m. this morning. I don't think I'm even going to bother. I don't know if he's celebrating Barry's 23rd month or something. I don't know. Some nonsense, I'm sure. It's probably fucking simulcasting me right now to give him something extra to talk about on his show. Everybody that's associated with Johnny Warrior, he has had a falling. Well, Johnny Warrior is supposed to have a red dot rifle on me. He was going to come to Bantayan. He's going to come out of the waters with his weapons. And he's going to have a red dot. And what were you saying, sweetheart? That alarm is a pain in the ass, by the way. Sounds like a 7-Eleven. The world is a better place without Johnny Warrior and Fazio. Okay, what were you saying now, dear?
I said dustpan.
Dustpan. What about it? We need another one? I don't know. Get a full answer. I'm half deaf, but she's not, but I have to repeat myself. You hear that alarm? Listen to that thing. Well, the world is a better place without a number of people on here, because they serve absolutely no fucking purpose at all, except to be hateful and make judgment on other people, and when they're the ones that should judge themselves, basically. All right, girls. Oh, they didn't eat yet?
Huh?
They didn't eat yet?
No, you pick it.
Oh. What? Ants? Not gonna get away from ants, that's for sure. Not around here. Man, you put one little piece of food on the floor that, crumb or even something oily, or a dead fly, a fly dies. It's amazing, instinctively. I mean, how they just find us. They just seem to find it. It's absolutely amazing. Fascinating, in fact. How do they do this? And how male dogs could sense another female dog, a female dog in heat, up to like a half a mile away, according to the breeze. It could be a mile away. Go figure that. Imagine if humans could sense when a woman is on her menstrual and she's fertile, and how many guys are going to show up at her door, and the animal world. Fascinating. You always get bit by red ants. Oh, we got plenty of them here. Over near the tree area, the big tree we have over here. You see them all over the gate. Oh, it's freaking incredible, man. Spraying with white vinegar, they don't like that. You can even kill some of them too with that, but they're not going to bring that to the nest and kill the queen. You have to get some borax. Excuse me. Boric acid, pardon me. Hold on. Hold on, girls. We don't have an open container of, we don't have an open...
Yeah, don't
We don't have an open here. We do. I wish I had some vegetables to throw in here, actually. And I even got some probiotics I can put in their food. It's a powder. I need probiotics, especially after taking taking antibiotics. That's what I need. Probiotics. Because antibiotics play havoc on your body and your immune system. They're terrible, actually. Hold on, girls. A little bit longer. Oh, especially Ginger. She'll jump up and down and dance around. Relax, I'm going to give you it. Just got to mix it up. She's dancing around. There you go. There you go. All right. Yeah. We take care of our dogs. Oh, on that subject. Oh, I guess I didn't read the earlier messages here. This message says, YouTube is quiet now that you know who can't get his phone. No, he left a comment on somebody's show the other day. He actually posted just something. He just posted something a day or so ago. No, I mean, this week might be it. I don't know. Well, actually, it's possible that this week could be the week that, and almost for sure when we go to court, because that document was already sent to the regional trial court. So, what they do. I mean, we just wrote it out, sent it out, and he doesn't necessarily get a copy of it. Although how immigration or so forth will react, he might get a letter that he did before. Remember, he got a letter he read on there? Well, he didn't want to read the content of it, just the beginning disclaimer, whatever it was on there, that says it's a sensitive document and it shouldn't be in the hands of anybody else, but he read it anyway, and that one was telling him that you've been threatening death threats from your phone, it's got to stop, and he got that. No, I can't confirm or deny that he had his phone taken away. I know he's been quiet other than just putting like a post on his community page, which still means he has access to a phone, but I think if he has actually a new lawyer representing him, probably told him that you need to get off YouTube, that's it. Is he going to comply with this? So far, he's not, because he did a posting anyway. You're not going to stop him from saying something or actually going into a sock account and calling me names or something, Because, he could, his girlfriend comes over, or if he has a cellmate there, he could always use his phone and do something like that. So it's not going to totally stop him for an occasional posting or a video. No, it's not confirmed. No. You'll know when he's off this thing for a while, then you'll know. You'll know. But it's going to be brought up in court. Of course it is. I think on this next session coming up, it's going to be brought up. Because they're going to have a copy of that. I don't know if that paper's put in front of the judge's desk on the day of the next court trial. It might be. Certainly the fiscal who represents the court, The fiscal is the in-between guy. He's let's call him I have to use the word state. He's the state prosecutor. He's not mine. I have my own prosecutor, which is my lawyer. He's an attorney and a prosecutor. But there is a state-appointed one that handles these documents and statements and all that stuff. He's a fiscal of some sort, I guess. So nothing is confirmed. But it's coming down to that. Well, he didn't want to stop. What can I say? I give me the credit, in all fairness, that I at least warn. I put the warning out there, the firing shots, and he doesn't want to adhere to disinformation that he needs to stop. I can't stop him from doing that. I mean, physically, I can't. I can't go there, take his phone, and step on it. I can't do that, or else I would. It has to be some legal document or complaint that'll put an end to that. Yeah, 2 years, Hemi, 2 years. Yeah, well, that's what he said anyway. He probably got a PAO, and he said some bullshit that it cost him 20,000 pesos. Now, you're not going to retain a lawyer for a trial for 20,000 pesos. Down payment, perhaps? With a written agreement? Sure. But no, not here. Let's talk more on the lower end. It would be about 50,000 on the lower end, but it'd be more likely up to 80,000 if you're going to retain a lawyer that's going to handle your case. But when a lawyer reads over the evidence and everything else, well, that's when they can choose to shy away from this or just totally not want to take the case at all. It's up to their discretion. But, 20, money is money. They'll take your money and, they'll be glad to take your money and then decide a short time later not to represent you. Yeah, I heard him say that. No, I heard him say that, Heminger, that he's got a lawyer. And that 20,000, and where did he get 20,000? It had to be from his Social Security, or it's just another bullshit story. You choose. Because these lawyers, I wish it was 20,000 to retain a lawyer. I wish it was 20,000. That would be wishful thinking. Oh, you saw that. Okay, you're not asking me if I saw. Yeah, you saw that too. Okay. You're very well versed on here, Hemi. Nah, not for 20,000. Not for 20,000. He may wind up with a PAO, more than likely. See, the thing is, the court will automatically appoint him a PAO, which is basically someone from the state, whatever, because everybody needs to be represented in the court of law. It works that way too here. So he can't really come in the courtroom and I really don't think he could come in the courtroom out here and represent yourself. I don't think the judge allows that. I mean, that would be a funny thing to watch. It's like that old saying, hire the handicap, they're fun to watch, that would be a trip. But, of course, he couldn't pull that off. There's no way in the world he could pull that off without making a total fool of himself, which he's already done in court. Trial by judge. Yeah, you need an uninterested party to get involved, and that's a judge, and he sees the evidence, he hears it, and he makes his analysis of it, and he makes his decision. I'd rather be tried by a judge and PH than a jury. Yeah, I noticed they don't do that out here. I don't do that. Well, you might be right on the judge thing rather than a jury, because they can be biased, they can be prejudiced, they can be, out of like 12 jurors. Yeah, I guess they don't. I don't know. I guess they don't do that out here. Not that I know of, unless you know something I don't. But I don't know everything. Mr. Sniff here. Yeah, I haven't bought any antihistamines in a while. Okay. I have my JD degree, so trust me, you're better off with a judge. You got a lot of things, Hemi, don't you? You're a worldly man, aren't you? You're very worldly. The most worldly person I have ever heard of. And where did you come up with the name Mrs. Heminger, though? Can you share that with us? Do tell. But 20,000 for a lawyer? A down payment, perhaps? With an agreement? Yeah, I could possibly see that to get it going. But, what's his defense? That's the question. What is his defense? That he didn't do that and say that? Well, it's obvious he did. It's been shown and proven. And the only thing a lawyer can actually do for him is mitigate the charges and try to convince the judge to go easy on him. That's all I think a person in that position, his position, could do, is try to get the judge to go easy on him. JD. John Doe. Are you John Doe you're trying to say? John Doe? I thought John Doe died or something. You come out as yourself. I mean, I have no problem with that if you're John Doe. Most judges in PH are merciful, Frank. Well, what he's thinking, I think, what the Frisbee is thinking, he's thinking that the proverbial slap on the wrist and a fine, and since you already got a summary deportation, which is going to send you home and get it all over it, and not crowd up the prison system. I'm not saying that can't happen, but in his case, I just don't think that's going to happen. Well, from the beginning, hi Frank, Frisbee let it slip. It cost him $20,000 plus 10 chickens for his lawyer. 10 chickens. You get his lawyer from the turnip patch somewhere, or the camote patch. And where was I going with this? Oh, wishful thinking on his part. That's what he hopes will happen. But I just don't see that happening. I got a good word on that's probably not going to happen. And the other thing that he doesn't understand a lot of things. He thinks he presents his lawyer or comes in court and he shouldn't even be here. He's an illegal overstayer or something, That has nothing to do with the premise of this court trial. It has nothing to do at all. It's the same thing as this shit in Hawaii about a civil case involving some money. That has no bearings on this case at all. He don't understand that, though. He never will. Even his lawyer would understand that. There's certain things you can't bring up in a court trial. Remember, it's my trial. It's against him. Okay, I'm in the driver's seat on this trial because the case is against him. I'm wearing the hat and everything else, the suit jacket, beep beep, driving Miss Daisy, and I'm looking like Morgan Freeman. No, I haven't given no chickens. I guess Popeye is going to be doing a show pretty soon. I'm not even going to bother to watch it when it's on here. I just got a notification. Yeah. I'm going to help her out with a few things around the house here. I can't listen to Popeye for any length of time, to be honest with you. It's the same shit, only just either rewords it differently or... But if you miss one of his shows, just look at his old show and you're not missing anything at all. Wait till you see his new one. It will be called Frank's Bed and Breakfast or something, yeah. Oh, I'm sure. He makes notes of all that stuff. As I said, with a sad life, huh? Sad life. But as I said, you can't go in a courtroom. Oh, expect many new subs lining up. I have some new subs now. It don't matter. I'm not trying to get monetized. I've got enough subs to monetize me, and I don't know how many watch hours I have, but I'm not really checking into that. You got to have 4,000 watch hours. But I'm not trying to gear up for that because I never know when I'm coming or going on YouTube, as you know. At one moment, I want to get off and I do another show, so Unless I'm actually officially off here, then yeah, it's no need. But even if I got, even if I got monetized, what is the difference really? I'm not going to make no money on here. I'm not going to make any money on here. And the whole purpose of my show is not to make money. So people are saying, well, why does he have a show if he's not making money? I do things the grassroots way. I mean, that's what my channel was. It was never about money. Yeah, Father Frankie, yeah, Peter V. People used to like my little fireside chats. They did. I was a phenom. I still am a phenom on here. Probably won't admit it though. Frank's a phenom. He could call me every name in a book, but I'm a phenom. Lasting 10 years on YouTube under adverse conditions. I think that's pretty good. Never ran away with my tail between my legs. But you just don't know. One day you're just not going to hear anything from me at all. Not talking about legal shit. Just concentrating on the shit I need to concentrate. We're getting pretty close to that now. Well, the truth is, if you want to know, I made a promise to myself that once I take care of business with him, that I would get off YouTube. I guess I'm just waiting for that to happen and I get my satisfaction that my job is done and I'm on my way, whatever. I think that's what it probably really comes down to. It's a wait-see game right now. It's not that I want people to go eat crow, but if it happens, the plates of crow will be served up. Well, Hemi, a lot of people depend on listening to me, but you wouldn't know it by how many viewers I get. The most I get on here is around 45 at best. You know, if you're a total loser, you can get over 100 or more like Ricky gets. Yeah. I'm a man of conviction. I hope I ain't gonna be singing that shit all day. Boy George. Egats. Frank, my cardio health will decline without your streams. Well, I can't help that. Can't help that. Just play some reruns of mine, copy a lot of my shit like Popeye and people do, and just put my reruns on, from your downloads or whatnot. Remember, nobody's really gone, Hemi, unless you stop thinking about them. Think about that. Nobody's truly gone. It's like if you were a popular musician, had some hit songs, that person could be long-term dead, but that music still carries on. It resonates within your heart and soul. No, not really. I don't even like listening to the sound of his voice, never less looking at him. No, I don't listen to any old Fazio stuff. And that stuff will only be on there for 2 years. And who's making the money? He's probably got money in his account. Unless he put it under Daisy's name or she did or something, because I'm sure he's still getting ads on there and all that shit. And he's probably got a little bank account on there that he don't know about. Well, he wouldn't know about it because he's dead. No, there's certain people I just can't listen to, really. You know how I always talk about that visceral effect with me? Yeah, some people have a visceral effect on me, and I can't listen. Fazio was very hard to listen to. He was extremely hard. Barry's extremely hard to listen to, actually. I've never seen such a level of stupidity, that's why, and I just, if I didn't know any better, didn't know who he was, you know, I'd be scratching my head like everybody else does and say, what's wrong with this guy? Yeah, after 2 years. YouTube delete, there's no activity after 2 years, they will delete the show. That's the knowledge that I have. Yep. So if you want to save any of my shows or anything else, or do it. I'll always be there for you, through thick or thin. And whether I'm on YouTube or not, I mean, just save some of my stuff. It'll kind of give you a fix that you need when you need it. No, they do delete inactive channels. They absolutely do. Look it up on Google. How long, as far as you've been dead now? How long has he been dead? I know some people find it hard to believe that he's gone. I have no comment on that, believe me. I can say a lot. There's some people we are better off being without, is what I'll say. And the world is a better place without that jerk. I can't believe the way he lived his life. I just can't even. It's just hard to fathom this. I mean, it's just who could live that way just to save money and I don't know. To each his own, right? All right, guys. You might as well go and listen to Popeye because I got things I need to do here. Thanks for the chat, and we'll catch you on whenever the next show is. Oh, good afternoon. Glad you could make it. Oh, that's 7-Eleven. Open up a 7-Eleven store at the house. You don't believe me? Okay. Excuse me. The age-old question is to anyone other than myself, but particularly me. Should I retire from YouTube? If so, why? That's a good question I want to pose to my viewers. It's an honest question. Have I been on here too long? And have I accomplished what my goal was? Yeah, I just ate something. It's after 12 here. Forgot where you are, but there's that magic 13 number again. 13 very avid viewers. Ouch. I'm still not 100% on the tongue thing, but it's about 85% there. Now, this is a dialogue session here, so keep that in mind. I posed a question. Should I retire from YouTube? Is it time? And why? You're first. Give me a thumbs up. Clint Edson. I would say yes, only because it causes a lot of bullshit and drama. It's probably upsetting. Well, she don't like it. That's for sure. No lie there. However, she knows how stubborn I am. And when I want to get something done, I do it. She knows when I'm focused in some kind of direction, that's exactly where I go. And I want complete honesty from people. Not saying because you want me to be there, because you want to hear drama and all that shit. AGG says the bullshit and drama ship has already sailed. Yeah. No wind in the sails anymore. Yeah, I've been kind of feeling like that myself. No wind in the sails. I mean, how much could you really say, you know? I mean, how much has already been said about me already that can't be, that's said over and over again, or by Barry himself or whatever. You get the point. People know what's going on, and it's nothing new to anybody else. Some people just choose to follow the drama because, well, could have a lot of factors in there. How much time they have on their hands, because they got so heavily involved with listening to this back and forth bullshit, and it gets tiring to people. I would definitely assume. It's not that it's never been tiring to me, but when I spit out these bullets, I make sure I have a lot of rounds. Excuse me. Yeah. Well, the thing is, I think I've said all I could say on here. I've even given good advice to some trolls out there about their health. I didn't have to do that. I'm not that cold-hearted, but I'm telling you, things happen, they happen. I'm not going to shed a tear in regards to that. But I think it has to come a time when I say, okay, dude, you made your point in spades. And whoever else out there made their point in spades. Otherwise, everything inclusive of me, what I say, what Barry says, and then the other people have become completely redundant. How many times can you talk about Barry's case? How many times could he spew his hate until they finally take his phone away? Which is in the process right now. It's in the process. If it ain't taken away now, then it will be after this next court hearing. How sure am I of that? I can't tell you, but I think it's in the process. I really do. This time. More so. Because legal paperwork has been put out about that. That's why. Well, this whole thing about feeling sorry for Barry, that he served, I got to correct people on this. Being sorry about Barry because he's been in there 23 months. Let me correct these people on that. They act like I said to the immigration that Barry has to stay in there for all these months. I don't have that kind of power. I wish I did, but I don't. He's in immigration because he has a case against him. He's still there because he has a case. He didn't want to negotiate with me on certain terms, so, end of story. It's all she wrote. I'm not the one that's telling immigration that you have to keep Goober in his cage for 23 months. Understand that. Whoever's listening. And they're jumping on me because he's been in there so long. Well, let me tell the trolls something here. He's in there because of something he did with immigration. He's in there because he has a court case on him. And how it works is that, if you haven't figured it out already, and most people are armchair warriors out here, is that he committed a crime. You may not look at it as a crime because it didn't happen to you. This is to the trolls. But if you were in my shoes, you would have no mercy. You would have no sympathy for the devil. You just wouldn't. Anthony says, since you asked, that tells me you're thinking about it. Go do something else. Volunteer your time to help those who you can. There must be some type of organization. Well, you're making me sound like I'm fucking shut-in or something, Anthony. I'm not a fucking shut-in. I do see sunlight. I do leave this house. I'm in and out of this house all the time during the day. I don't just sit, I haven't turned the TV on all day today. I've been watching one bit of television. I've been doing things around the yard, around the house. I've been retouching some paint on the body of the house. I keep busy. We go shopping, go on chores. It's not like I'm a fucking shut-in or something, you know. Well, that's the way it sounds, man. Sophie King says, if someone called me a coward, a pussy, etc., I would fight back. Well, no, that's not reason. See, I'm being fair here. Biggie, Mick Fisher, whoever's listening, and I know you are. I'm being fair. If you call me a pussy and a coward, I'm not going to put a case against somebody. Even if you call me a pussy and a coward, I'm not going to put a case against you. That's ridiculous. There's a big difference between calling somebody a pussy and a coward, and in this society, to label somebody as a child predator, which they know I'm not, but as I always say, it sounds good on paper for them. That's a whole different animal, man. That's a whole different animal. And I'll say it again, and I'll be as redundant as I can, and I will push this as far as I can. Unless it's happening to you, you will not understand. I'm not the bad guy here. I didn't go and call myself a child predator and say I have a small dick at ED and I'm a chomo and I'm a child groomer. I'm sorry, but there is a limit. There is a limit of what somebody wants to put up with. And it's not like, okay, he had a bad day, and one day he called me this. Maybe another day or so he was in a bad mood, and he called me this. Okay, all right, he made his point. He doesn't like me. No, this was continual. And you have to understand about this platform here. If you don't understand it, you never will. The platform here has the potential of thousands of people of reading or listening to this stuff. Okay? That could put me in danger. It could put Gilda in danger. It could make people really believe the things they hear because, you know, the average cattle follower in this society, they think that if it's on the internet, it must be true. You know how shallow thinking people are. I saw Popeye's video starring a big, yeah, I heard his shit. Yeah. Yeah, the goodly, Mr. Goodliness, Big E, who has threesomes with his wife and shit, shares another woman and has a baby with her. Yeah, he could speak, right? He's really in a position to speak about me. Get fucking real, Big E. Get fucking real. Yeah, Barry served the time. Who the hell are they? Are they the fucking judge? Let me tell you something. People are very sensitive about shit like that. If someone called Big E or Mick Fisher, or any one of them, a child predator, they did it relentlessly for how many years on public media. Don't tell me, because it's all bullshit, don't tell me all these goody two-shoes out there, the high roaders taking the high road. Don't tell me they're not going to act appropriately on that situation either way, if you know what I'm talking about. Yeah, Popeye needs to get a life. He thinks about Frank 24/7, loser. Boy George, Big E has 4 families, and he seems to find the time for drama. Isn't that amazing? Hugo says Barry will still need 500,000 PH to pay his back fees at least. That's at least. And I don't think there's anybody in that position, as much as they don't like me, to go to put out that kind of money and knowing that it's probably not going to go to the right place. So if they really care about the Philippines culture, if you have that kind of money to donate, go find a good family in need. You got medical problems, Filipino family that can't afford to have a major operation and they're going to die or something. I mean, find a good reason to put that money to. I'm all for it. I'll back anybody up on that, you know. I've helped people out in that situation too. Not just one time, but several. Yeah, Big E is the white Calvin Roach. Yeah. Sofa King death sentence for Bummer on the table. I don't know, where his health is going or anything. He might commit suicide. What the fuck do I know? They might put him on suicide watch if he winds up in prison. I don't know. And I don't really care. What he does to himself, he does himself. Overeat, you know, and the state is going to have to provide him with a zip code. He's got so big. I mean, whatever he wants to eat, whatever he wants to do, he wants to do his vape. He wants to drink booze in his cell. And we know he did. We know absolutely he did. We know he did. I've heard him on there. In fact, I've got a video where he's talking about it. So push comes to shove. Yeah. No, it's all the goody two shoes out there. Oh, Frank, you're doing wrong. You're doing wrong. Let him free. He served enough time. Because it's not you, Big E or Mick Fisher or Popeye or Don C or whoever. It's not you. If it was you, I think you'd want to correct that situation. Toot sweet. That's my opinion. They're all taking the high road. The high road. None of them could afford to take the high road. That's my point. The high roaders. They should form the High Roaders Club. The HRC, the High Roaders Club. They should form their own club. I don't watch Gypsy Jay. Well, no, I don't watch that guy. He's kind of weird. All I know is he teaches English in China or something. I don't know what the fuck. I don't care about who's making a comeback. I just really don't give a shit. This whole community is fucked up. You got enough gossip. You got fucking Philippine antics on there gossiping about everybody and everything. She admits she can't leave the house hardly. She's so fat. Well, why don't she lose weight? Why don't any of these people lose weight and shut the fuck up? Damn, they talk about limitations or this or that. Well, lose some goddamn weight. Lose some weight. That's an idea. Bummer will not survive 6 months in a real prison. Jay and Ricky know this. Excuse me. It's real easy to come on YouTube and say that Frank is doing wrong by allowing Barry to stay that long in immigration. Where did they get that idea? Where did they get that idea that I'm throwing my weight around in a way to make him stay there? He just happens to have double jeopardy. He decided to try to elude the immigration system by moving place to place and not paying his required visas, number one. Number two, he did commit a crime, and according to the Republican Act, what he did was a crime, and he has 5 counts against him, and he's on trial. That's why he's still in immigration. So if they got complaints, don't make it to me. Write the immigration, say free Barry J, free Barry J. Get posters and campaigns in front of the immigration office or whatever you want to do. Pay off some officials. I'm sure that's not out of the question with some people on here. Do what you feel you need to do to get him out of jail. But unfortunately for him, as long as he has a case against him, he's not going anywhere. Barry might mouth off to the shot callers. Yeah. And e-beg online is an overstayer. Barry's about to hit 700 days in the brig. Yeah, it's about that, isn't it? Although Popeye, of course, carries the active calendar. I don't have that set up on my phone. Boy, there's such deep shit involved in this drama. It's incredible. As far as I'm concerned, Barry gets what he deserves. No tears coming out of my eyes for this guy. And why? I've explained. Because he doesn't show remorse for what he did. None. He's just decided to continually do it as if, he's above the law. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. So yell at him. Don't yell at me. Tell him to behave himself. And if he would have behaved himself, this wouldn't be happening to him. He would have been free and on his way home a long time ago. Am I right or wrong? He had that opportunity to shut his mouth, but he didn't want to shut his mouth. So how could I, in the cockles of my heart, how could I feel some kind of compassion for somebody that goes in the public media for all the world to hear and repeatedly calls me a child molester? Because in real life, in the real world, and I don't really call this the real world on YouTube, but nevertheless, there's a lot of potential viewers. And they see this shit, and generally, you know how people are, and you will like the same way, I'm sure. You'll believe whatever it is you hear to be factual, not knowing the background, not knowing the history, not knowing what's current. It's easy to make an assessment as, oh, really? Does he do that to children? And you get killed from that. Somebody out there might have had their child molested. Then they hear that there's somebody on YouTube that molests children, and they think that somebody's doing it. They might react very violently. So he put my life in danger by saying this shit on here. And all these trolls, all the goody two-shoes, Mick Fisher, Big E, Popeye, Don C., and whoever. All the goody two-shoes on here. Oh, what a bad thing you did to Barry Jordan. No, I did a good thing. I got the motherfucker off the streets for almost 2 years. I think everyone could appreciate that. Bar owners that he owes money. Private people he owes money. Establishments he owes money. Girlfriends that he's hurt. I did the community a major favor. That's what I did. That's what I did. Sofa King says, people interested in the facts come here. People who want to be entertained follow Popeye. Yeah, 6th grade, yeah. So let me put this so you all know. I am not dismissing this case. Even if I could. I'm not dismissing this case. Let the judge make his decision where this is going. That's where I part with this. I will present my evidence. Already did. My testimony's coming up. I will get it all out. And it's going to be the judge who makes the decision on this case. Not me. Not me. Take it up with the judge if you don't like his decision. Take it up with the immigration if you don't like the fact he's been in there for almost 24 months. Take it up with the law out here if he's being detained further because there's a pending existing case against him. That's how the rules work out here. I don't set the rules. I don't set the rules. Sofa King says, you did a great thing. Think about all the women in bars who have been protected as a result. I know. It's truth. I don't need a disclaimer to this. I got videos that show his behavior in bars and shit like that. We got the knife wielding incident. There's a lot of things on him. We got his whole attitude. We know how he feels about the Philippines. I got several of the newest videos where he's, saying some horrible things about the Filipino people and their culture and the government. I got so much shit that's coming out of my ears. And they're going to back him up? Seriously? God, they must really hate my guts to back up a loser like this guy, knowing what he's done. I think it's for effect. I think it's pulling the chain. I think it's just to continue the drama. That's pretty much all it's about. Everything is Frank's fault, right? Barry did nothing wrong. Just ask Shaky, Jay Stillman. Yeah, a lot Jay could tell you. There's a lot Jay could tell you. all of a sudden Jay's an ally of Barry when he's been against Barry, and Barry's called Jay every name in the book too. He's called everybody every name in the book. He's even taken donators' money and he attacked them too. And they still want to back him up? Amazing. Well, you could say it's my fault, but that wouldn't be factual. He wouldn't be in court if he didn't say what he did, right? And it takes a prosecutor in regards to a cyber libel crime. It really has to be really good, deep evidence. And because it's really hard to get a fiscal to approve a court case, it's very hard. And you have to have the right evidence in the right format, everything else. And the evidence that we gathered, it happened to be in the right format and everything else, and that's why it went through. The first time it didn't go through, it's not because they thought there was no merit in the case. Well, in a sense, because my lawyer's assistant forgot to put the memory cards, the video cards, in the envelope when it was sent to his lawyer, and further on. That's the only reason it didn't click the first time. It's not that we didn't have evidence. They wanted to see the video evidence that all the timestamps were making reference to. And it wasn't included in the package that was sent out. That's what that was all about. It's something more than that. It's what it began a longer time ago. So, I'm just going to get it all out while I can. I don't feel sorry for him. I will never feel sorry for him. There's no punishment that's too great for him. I think that because of his inert cockiness and continued cockiness, he obviously hasn't learned a lesson. Although this might be a harsh lesson for him, which is going to be bestowed upon him by the court, not me. It is the Republic against him. I'm the one who filed the case, but because it was a Republican law, it was one of the laws of the country that was broken. It is basically the Republic of Philippines against Barry Lee Jordan in its entitlement on court record. I'm the plaintiff in this court case, which was the catalyst of having a court case, but it is the people versus him. If you don't believe that, I can show you a paper that entitles that. No problem. No problem. So, the big question, should I get off YouTube or hold my grounds and stay on here and say fuck everybody? Now, I know I've been doing my girlfriend an injustice by staying on here, but she knows it's kind of a hobby and shit. And she understands. She doesn't like any of these YouTubers out there. Believe me, she doesn't. You're not going to hear her come on there and go on a vicious verbal attack and yell at somebody. She's not like that. She'll put a few words in, but she's not yelling at anybody. She's not going out of her way to express how she feels about these trolls and shit and all the lies going around and shit. She understands every single thing that's going on from scratch. She understands everything. Of course, she has her opinion on this, but it's the same as mine. All right, where are we going with this anyway? Okay, Sofa King. One expat threatened a bartender with a knife, right. Another expat donated a TV to a school. Who should be deported? Exactly. But of course, they had to change that story around too. That actually I bought the new TV for myself and I gave to school my old TV. Shit, I think I had a video on there opening the damn box. It was a brand new fucking TV. And I'm an undesirable? When did Barry ever donate to anyone? He just takes donations. He hasn't given to anybody in his life. The only thing he's given is fucking semen to some chick. He hasn't given anything but his big mouth. and his horrible attitude about the country and Filipinos and people in general, and showed the world his bitterness. You're not going to change a man like that. It just ain't going to happen. There ain't no money that's going to change him. There ain't no shrink that's going to change him. There ain't no woman that's going to change him. He is who he is. He is not going to change. Barry is like a cancer, and how do we treat cancer? Well, I won't answer that. Same thing you do with a fucking cockroach. Spray him. No, he's never donated the money to anyone. You're right. He said subhumans. Yeah, he's the basement of subhumans. Go another level down. By his own demonstration. Got to get that in. Some people hate that word. They hate that word, demonstration. So Mick Fisher takes the high road, starts attacking me. He admits that the only reason he met me was to try to get me to change my mind about Barry, Mr. Goody Two Shoes, who admits to me that Barry should be serving time. He admitted that, but then turns on me, turns the other way. No, I think enough is enough, and that's why we got into it, not heavily, but we got into it on a message system on Facebook. That's when I just blocked him, and I said, fuck this shit. Why, you want to support going the high road for some guy who absolutely deserves everything that's coming to him? I said, obviously, we don't see eye to eye. That's fine. I wasn't really looking for Mick to be a friend. I already told you folks that it is not my endeavor to befriend foreigners, and especially foreigners who partake in YouTube. That's the last thing I need. Because they would know every single thing going on with me, when I fart, when I shit. They already know most of that already. Why I got to feed them more? There's always a reason somebody's going to try to befriend you. Same as Brevis. He just wanted to get the dirt out of me. You remember Ren Zero when he interviewed me at that condo? How many years ago was that? His only intent that he admitted it was to find the dirt on me. And at the end of the session, he admits, I can't find Frank wrong. I've asked him, he goes, I tried to find the dirt. He came out with the exact words. I tried to find the dirt on Frank, but I can't find it. I believe what he said. So, yeah, even Ren Zero tried to find the dirt out on me. And he didn't win on that either. He had to actually admit it. Oh, Popeye gets easily triggered. And by the way, his stupid video things are getting so boring. He's using a lot of the same, edited crap or stuff that went to the editing floor, and just over and over again, the Looney Tunes thing and the same shit, and it's just getting really played out. Now, believe me, there's sometimes I go to Popeye's show, and there are times I've listened to his whole show, because usually, if it's just like after, recording me or doing a simulcast, and then he does his little thing at the end, does his little dance, I could handle that to a certain point. But truthfully, I can't listen to the guy. I mean, if there was a way of just cold cocking him in the fucking face through the fucking, if AI could get that advanced that you could cold cock somebody right through the fucking phone, I would actually do that. And more. Popeye has a glass heart, and probably a glass jaw too. A glass heart that shatters when you talk about him. Popeye and Circus make videos like it was 2015 all over again. Well, I don't even go to Circus's shows. These guys have been around for a long time. A very long time. And it makes you wonder what the hell are they doing with their time? If they got that much time to talk about me, make shows about me, copycat channels, do little skits and all that crap, man, they got some time on their hands, I guess. You should join a panel on his show and rebuttal him. Now, look, guys, what is the purpose of this battle? That's where we're going. That's what we're going with on this show. What for your entertainment? No offense, guys. I mean, you're good good for my dialogue. You're good coming on here supporting me or not, or just making believe that you're supporting me, whatever. I've heard that too. But what is the purpose? What is the purpose? Is my channel monetized? No. Have I said everything I needed to say? Yes, and more. Is what I say and continue talking about Barry or anybody else, is it going to solve anything? No. None of the above. Is it going to change somebody? No, it's not. So what is the purpose? Except to entertain you people, and all you want to talk about anyway is Barry and other trolls. Sometimes you just got to say when and just stop. Unless you have like a special announcement that you know damn well you're going to put on if you needed to. Give it a rest. Just give it a rest. Give it a rest. Because it does get boring too, and I got to talk about the same shit all the time because you're always asking or saying something about Barry or one of the other trolls on there, Mick Fisher and Ego and all these people. There's a lot to say about these people. I understand that, but talk to them about it. They know how I feel about them. I don't hate Mick Fisher. I just think he's a rat. That's all. I don't hate the guy. I don't know him long enough to hate him. He seems to have his shit together other than getting involved with YouTube, which he told me he was going to be done. After I blocked him on my messenger, he says, we're all fucking crazy. I don't want anything to fucking do with YouTube, he said, but he comes right on. He comes on live streams, makes comments. He ain't going to stop either. They think they can throw their money around and be a big shot. Having a lot of money means you're okay in everybody's books. Money don't mean shit. Money can't even necessarily buy justice. Although some people would heed to that and take your money, money does speak pretty loud under the right situations. But that's not something I'm doing or would do. I wouldn't put myself in that position. Funny to watch Popeye fold under Frank's scrutiny. Rat Fisher. Well, our little dislike for each other does not go back a long time terribly. It's just, I just think that he's not seeing things in first position. He's not in my shoes. That's the big difference. Mick is just not seeing things. Because I'll tell you what, there's no man out there that's going to allow, or a woman is going to allow themselves to be called a child predator, a child molester, and everything else. It might be fun at first. Oh, but you said, man, come on, that's not cool. Why would you call somebody that? I could understand that. But it's a lot different than that. It's when a person does it over and over again, it doesn't stop. And as I said, a lot of people listen to this shit inadvertently. Maybe they just come in, they see a live stream. Oh, what's this all about? And they listen to it. Next thing you know, they get involved in it. Really? This guy's a child predator? We got to do something about that. It gets ugly, man. It gets ugly, and you got to put a stop to it. That's exactly what I'm doing. And I'm going to hold my guns on this, and I'm going to shine them up too, because this is not acceptable to me, and it would not be acceptable to anyone else. But you're just taking the high road. Mick may have money, but I got truth. That's right. Frank is David and Mick is Goliath. Very good. Of course it's a serious name because Fazio got involved with this Hawaii case thing. It was a civil suit from my tenants who claimed this and claimed that. It had to do with a song I sung. It's a Muffin Man song. And it made reference to Fazio's little dick that we politely call the mushroom. And I sung this song. The kid happened to be in the room at the time. Never said the word dick or cock or any shit like that. Called it a pee-pee. Like I got to go pee-pee, which I have to go actually. and made a big stink of it because Fazio made a big stink of it. So Barry couldn't find any more ammunition against me. So he figured, let me keep on talking about this. What did you do with that little 8-year-old kid and this and that and this and that? I'd do anything. But Popeye took it to a different level. Now it went to that the kid was sitting on my lap, which never happened. How would he know that? Because I wasn't on camera anyway. So that's right, I wasn't on camera, but a kid. No, I wasn't on camera. It was an innocent fucking song, and they just flew with this and carried it to the post goal and goal post, and they wanted to see what the hell they could do with it. But none of that pertains to anything that's going on. But Barry decided to pick up the ball with this, and that's the story. And that continued. He had other people pick up on this too, and that's how it started, and that's how it still is. And they haven't learned their lesson yet, but time will come when others might. But that's why Barry needs a lesson, because he's the one that kind of procured this whole thing. He's the one that pushed this and proliferated everything that was going on. He didn't want to shut his mouth. Well, I decided that it was time to act on this. I gave him all the leeway he could, to stop. I told him, you can't be saying things like that on YouTube about me when it's not true. You could hurt a family. You could hurt someone's profession if they were working. It's a serious matter. And don't mind the high roaders. They can say, it's a serious matter. You did wrong. They know I did right. Mick knows. Popeye knows. All the trolls know. They know I did right. Because, goddamn it, if they were in my position, they'd do the same goddamn thing. Don't believe a word they say. Not a word. Singing a song is not a crime. Geez, Barry, the kid probably didn't even understand the joke. Sophie King says, what's worse, Barry? Singing a song with a kid or pulling a knife on a bartender? There you go. What happened with Joey? Joey Focus's daughter. What happened with that, guys? Are you forgetting that, Mick? You forgetting that, Popeye? You forgetting that, Don C? You forgetting that, Big E? What happened with... So you think Barry is righteous, huh? Is that what trolls are thinking, that Barry is righteous? The hell he is. Think of a lot of things he's done. And they want to go stand behind him? I don't think so. I ain't going to get into that. He tried to hit on Joey's daughter. I think he even tried to hit on Joey's wife. He went over there, was hanging out with Joey. Joey looks just like Barry. They both look like Uncle Fester, the bald look. Joey was a crazy motherfucker. At least his was crazy on YouTube. He was another troll, but he got friendly with Joey. He was coming here all the time. They had a barbecue. Every time there's he came over there to get free food and free booze and beer. Well, Joey had a daughter. I don't know what age she was. I don't know. Somebody else might be able to tell me that. I don't know if she was underage or if she was legal age. I have no idea. I don't know. But he tried to hit on her, and Joey reacted to this, of course. I don't know how he reacted, but he threw Barry out, and they're not any friends anymore. That's what happened. I don't know how horny he was at the time. He might have hit on his dog, too. Who knows? Who doesn't he hit on? But I get, as I said, I get very suspicious when a guy's talking about another guy's dick all the time. I mean, I just, it confuses me. But I am suspicious of somebody who's always saying that, coming over and suck my dick and all that. Then there's got to be something to that. There has to be something to that. I don't know. The theory of the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. The guy's a trip, man. He's a real trip. What it was like with his family growing up with him. He's bitter at the world because his son, who's about 25 now, doesn't want anything to do with him at all. And he talks about my daughter all the time. What about your son? He don't want nothing to do with you. And he's very bitter that people were turning against him. His wife, after, he went to jail for 6 months, he admitted himself, then denied it later on. Yeah, his lips are moving. And that's what happened. He had his bench warrants on him. That's why he came to the Philippines, man. He ran away. Just like Brevis. They're both running away from something. Every time I listen to Popeye, he is monologuing about Frank's ding dong. Well, in his case, I don't know. I'm suspicious in his case. Remember, he's been divorced for how many decades now? He's just getting on YouTube and doing his little hate spiels and makes you wonder, guys. Wonder. It sure does. It makes me wonder. How could a woman for that long? I mean, it's not even a sexual thing, really. It's companionship, but he's got his little foo-foo dog, He's got his foo-foo dog. Goes to bed with him, too. I bet it's a female dog. Or maybe it's a male dog. I don't know. God, I am not drinking enough water. I need to start doing that. Sofa King says, let's just say Popeye may prefer Brutus to olive oil. You might be right. You might be right. I think you're right, Jerry. I think you're right. Oh, boy. What do you say? Should this be my last show or what? I mean, I've given this a lot of thought. I know Gilda would have no problem with that, that's for sure. Because I'm at the point I just don't, I'm just kind of going along with the dialogue here. There's not anything on here I haven't really said before. And it all becomes completely redundant. And even saying that it's becoming completely redundant is redundant in itself, too. Redundant against redundancy against redundancy. It's the same with these other shows. It's the same shit. I get so fucking bored with some of this shit on here. There are actually, I mean, let's not destroy the whole community. There's some people with some decent shows out there. I don't mean the ones we know of here. I don't really listen to Calvin much. I listen to Calvin, and I'm not saying he's one of the good guys. He's all upset about America. It's not the same as what it was. You think he was gone for 10 years, the way he's talking. But I don't, I spend, as far as this gadget I'm holding in my hand, I spend more time when I'm on his phone, contrary to popular belief. I spend more time researching stuff. I spend more time listening to certain stories. I spend more time sometimes with some world events, science, not much on technology, but science, paranormal, and things about extraterrestrial life. So I got kind of an open mind about a lot of things. I don't live in a closed box. I'm kind of very open-minded to the possibilities. You can explore that island and vlog. Fuck the vlogging. Nobody's interested in my island. Nobody is interested in what I do out here. Okay? They're not interested. They want to hear drama. Just like you guys. You only come to my channel, admit it. You only come to my channel because you want to hear about Barry, or you want to talk about the other trolls or the high roaders. Be realistic. I'm not stupid. Okay? I appreciate the dialogue and all that shit, but the truth is, You're the same people that if I was monetized would not donate a fucking dime to me. Because I have been through this before. See, there's got to be a purpose for you to be on YouTube. You want to make some extra pocket change. I'm not, I'm fine with that. Whoever wants to do that, you know, it could help defray some of your expenses and put away for a rainy day or something. And some people, unfortunately, are surviving on that alone. And that's the sad part. If I was monetized, you people wouldn't donate shit to me, and you know that. Sophie says, I do enjoy the drama, true, but honestly, I do watch small channels vlogging about smaller towns. Yeah, I don't mind that either. Sophie King, I'm bored of channels devoted to Cebu and Boracay. That's all you hear about is Boracay. Fuck Boracay. It's too crowded, too touristy. Thanks, George. Love your music. Yeah. I mean, the fact is, some of you guys will listen to me when I start talking about some health stuff, and you get involved. Actually, a lot of times my audience does get involved with it. But you know damn well that you want to hear about all these critters out there like Mick Fisher and Big E and all these people. I mean, look at the wrong. No, look, I'm not. Popeye tries to make it look like I'm on the attack of Mick Fisher. I'm not on the attack of Mick Fisher, not at all. I don't hate the guy. I don't wish ill on him. I just think that he used me. He admits it too. He came over there just to try to influence me to drop the case on Barry. If I would have known that, I would have never have met him. I would never have met him. If he was coming out on a fact-finding mission, like Brevis, no different than Brevis. So it's not like I hate Mick Fisher. Actually, Mick Fisher is one of the people on here that probably has more of his shit together than anybody else on here. For what I know of his background and little I do know of it, he probably has more of his shit together than anybody on here. That's including anybody that's on here regularly. He more likely does. I guess he decided to settle in Vietnam or something. I thought he just travels to Southeast Asia now. He's going to stay in Vietnam or something. The way Big E's talking that he's now residing here and all this shit. I don't know. Mr. Ballin does a medical mystery podcast. Mr. Ballin. Never heard of him. King says, a lot of people do sincerely enjoy videos about the less touristy places. I think the random small towns are fascinating. Yeah. I can listen to some of that too. Small town stuff, But let me tell you something. When they start pulling the clickbait shit, that's when I turn off. Like Philly in the Philippines and Paul are the masters of clickbait. If one thing I do not like on here is a clickbait. The advertisers, everything try to get you to do that too. Clickbait. Then some people question becoming Filipino. What is his mastermind? He's got many sponsors. Does he really love the Filipino people that much? Or is he in it for the money? Was it just a bonus for him that he could speak the language? And these people come from missionaries or something? I think possibly he even Besaying Hale, whatever his name is, the blonde Norwegian guy, whatever he is. I think they're all like from the Mormon church or some shit like that. Oh yeah, clickbait, man. Oh man. You're seeing so much of that these days. Some people think I can't put this phone down and not do a show. I'll see you in 24 hours, Frank. I'll see you tonight. For the most part, you've been right. Because I gave in. But when I'm actually off this thing, you'll know it. If you hear me off more than a week on here, I'm off. That's a clue. But as I said, I'm at this turning point where I understand, and don't get me wrong, or get me right, whatever. You guys are in it for the drama. You know that's why you're here. You want to hear about what's going on with Barry's court case? I've been your mouthpiece for that because you're all curious where it's going with him, where the deport order is going, or the complaint, rather. There is none yet. There is no resolution yet. No matter who says they have it, they don't. There is no resolution yet. My lawyer assured me of that. In fact, I just talked to him today, first day back to work. I talked to him just today, and he gave me a few clues about a few things. And I had kind of a question and answer session about a few things. And he told me everything I need to know, everything about Barry's case and otherwise. And yeah, as far as his girlfriend, yeah, that might be good to go. They might be looking into that seriously. So it's not over till the fat lady sings, but in this case on YouTube, it's not over till the fucking fat boys sing. But even so, yeah, there's going to be a domino effect on here. There's going to be a definite domino effect. Keep vlogging, just change from the drama to something. It don't matter. Drama finds me. Not only about the paranormal stuff, more on the extraterrestrials or terrestrials. There's a difference. Your lawyer would be an interesting guest or co-host. Have you considered doing like? Yeah, I don't think they do that kind of stuff. I don't. It's against policy and whatnot. I don't think so. Oh yeah, it would be interesting to have him on and have Barry hear exactly what he says, but you can't load your enemy with ammunition. And sometimes I was doing that more often than not. And as I said, that's going to stop. He has to find out things on his own and when is the next case, all kinds of shit like that. You know, I gave him hints. I even was very blatant about it and said, "This is where it stands, dude. You're going to fucking prison." From my standpoint and what I've heard from my lawyers and everything else, yeah, it does look like he's going to get a one-way ticket to prison before he gets a one-way ticket out of the country. That's the way it stands. I can't elaborate any more than that. And that's enough as it is. I don't think he's getting out with a slap on his hand. No matter what ace in the hole they feel that they have on me with his girlfriend's deportation case, I'm not changing my position, not for anything. I negotiated with him the last time recently. He didn't want to take me up on that. That's it. There's no more negotiation. He knows what his girlfriend has to do. He knows. Because she knows she's wrong. She has to fess up. But she's afraid she's going to get charges. But I said that it would be in writing that there would be no charges on her for lying. There'll be no charges on her for aiding and abetting Barry and harboring him. That would not be on paper. I already said that. So the deal's off the table. He didn't want to take it, so I'll grant him his wishes. That's all I could say. And if he wanted to do it, he ain't got much time to do it anyway. Or does she? So I think that's pretty much a done deal. If Barry isn't willing to negotiate, he's not worth the effort. And he's a lost cause. Well, that's the way I see it. I don't owe this guy any favors. Please understand that. I don't owe him anything. Oh, he thinks I owe him $500,000 for his food. Dream on, McDuff. Dream on, McDuff. I'll give you the shit that comes out of my asshole. I'll cover it with fucking your favorite meal. You still probably would eat it. No, he's not willing to negotiate, so it's business as usual. You know, I open at 8 a.m., close at 5 p.m., whatever. Business open, business closed. He don't want to cooperate. She don't want to cooperate. The deal's off the table. That's it. And he'll just have to take his chances. What would you do? No. Considering his weight, he's more like McDonald's. Yeah. Less McDuff, but more McD's. Yeah. Yeah, he did gain a lot of weight. There's no doubt about that. I was surprised, actually. I knew he had the potential of gaining weight, but when I seen him on that one show from Facebook and was copied and whatever. The video was seen by everybody. Showing all his toys. I said, holy shit. Holy shit. And Ricky's not getting any skinnier anytime soon either, man. That guy is puffing out like a blowfish, man. His cheeks are hanging. He don't look well. His color doesn't look well. Now he's having trouble with his foot or something? A swollen foot? Having problems with that? That's a sign, guys. That's a sign right there. Sounds like a Fazio situation coming up, or something similar to it. Oh, well, I can't save the world, and why would I want to save these people anyway? I thought about buying Barry a toothbrush for Christmas, but then I realized it was too late. Hey, I donated $20 to his teeth fund back in the day. Motherfucker didn't even use it for his teeth. Bastard. Tricky Ricky is on death's door. It's obvious. Yeah, I know. It's sad for him. I mean, I don't really care. Contrary to what you believe, I don't really wish death on anybody. No matter what I say. But I don't. As the same as I wouldn't wish on me. I wouldn't wish somebody to get a horrible kidney stone that I had. I wouldn't wish somebody to have a fucking sore on their tongue. I mean, I don't wish that kind of people on people. I really don't. I would never mean it. Because, I would not want that to happen to me if it didn't already. All I'm looking for is proper justice. Nothing more or less than that. He has to pay the price of what he done and said. And he did a lot of damage. He'll come on and say, what damage did I do? Barry, you did a lot of damage. You did a lot. Okay? You damaged his family in some ways here. You damaged my girlfriend. You most certainly damaged me. There's damage for the people that are my peers that might have been listening in on there. Could be schoolmates, could be ex-girlfriends, could have been whatever. Well, that word gets out. You did a lot of damage, Barry. Damage control over. Now it's your turn to suffer the wrath of my sword legally, and be glad that I'm doing this on a legal level. Just be very happy about that. It could have went the other way. Think about that. Yeah, I call it like I see it too. But remember, the high roaders, Mick and all these people, the high roaders, and some of them are riding between their legs the Holy Bible too, Every one of you people out there, and there's fucking 30 people, 29 listeners, including me, 30, you all know damn fucking well, and I'll say this for the last time, if you were in my shoes, you know what you would do. Stop taking the high road on this shit. Mick and Popeye and all the other people and Big E. Stop taking the high road. I know what you guys would do. Popeye would fall apart. Although Popeye's in the United States, he won't take it as harshly, but he'll still take it to heart if somebody called him what he has also been openly calling me on his show. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'll definitely be making a decision on whether to continue on here, and the only way you're going to know is if I do another show. That's all I can tell you. I have to be honest with you. What has to happen is, if you guys are really that interested in the drama in regards to what's happening with Barry's case and otherwise, I think it's going to have to get to the point that you're going to either have to believe hearsay or believe Barry, which is impossible, but, ask him the pertinent questions, what's happening in court. Of course, he's going to lie to you. I could definitely tell you that. And he'll say something to draw me out of retirement. That's what he wants to do. He likes sparring with me. And people think that I like sparring with him, but I really don't. He's kind of played out. My repertoire, he's played out. How much more do I want to deal with him on any level? Nevertheless, a court level, that have to deal with him on YouTube all the time and listen to him. Something has to come. You got to put the cork on a bottle sometimes. You have to put a lid on it. Go about your business. You got legal things going on. Take care of it. Worry about that. Worry about yourself. Worry about your own family, which I should have done a long time ago. Which I do worry about myself and family, but I'm just making a point that I should have done this a long time ago and made a very valid and decision to just get off this fucking thing. I should have just done it instead of talked about it. That's what I'm going to do. And this thing's going to be dragged out apparently quite a bit. And I think I know Barry's future. I'm pretty sure of it, actually. And it's going to be coming a time soon that you may not hear from him at all. And the reason you won't is because he probably won't have access to his phone. If they really are renovating the place there, where else are they going to put him? They'll probably put him in the Mandawi jail, more likely. He's not going to have privileges there because of that manifestation thing I put out. That might solve it all right there. Done deal. I think that's what's going to happen. He may try to sneak on his girlfriend's phone when she comes over. That's possible. I wouldn't be surprised at all. It's his way of shoving it to me. See? Ha ha. I snuck a show in and I called you every name in the book. How do you like that? How do you like that, Frank? How do you like that, Frank? I know the guy. I know the guy. I know what he's capable of. He's proved it over and over again. Seriously, man. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the original My Philippines Interests, the one and only. The siren goes for a very special announcement of my retirement. Yes, it's true. Good evening, Anthony. Good evening, viewers. Tonight we're going to pass the baton, and we're going to pass the torch We're going to pass the torch. Here's the torch. We're going to pass the torch. It's time. Time. It's time. Growing old and weary. I'm not like the fairy, but time is not on my side. Getting old as the hill. And I think it's time. Got to spend more time with the family. Got to put more time for myself. And I'm still going to wear my shades because I still think my future is going to be all right and it's going to be bright. Now, I got to thank my viewers for all these years for formulating that strong background of support that I've received for the past 2 years. Made me one of the most popular channels in the YouTube genre. Controversy hit the roof. Adversary hit the roof. And there's no more room. And I gotta pass the torch. I gotta find a younger stud to continue my reign of excellence. None to compare. But I think it's time. Me and the missus, we sat down, we talked about it, we talked about it. We said, Frank, my good man, love of my life, I think it's time to take off the gloves on YouTube. It's time, she said. You had your reign on here. It wasn't a reign of terror, and it wasn't a reign of error. But as I look back through the years, I say with pride, with tears in my eyes, that it's time to go. Don't worry none. We're okay. We're doing fine. And we'll continue to do fine. But I think my time in the ring is over. I think I've said what I needed to say, and I said it very well. And some of you have learned a whole lot of good stuff from me that I hope you're going to put to practice. Because long after I'm gone from this earth, you're going to remember me. I'm afeared that you're kind of on your own. Yeah, I think it's reached that time. As I sit back and I reminisce about the good old days from the beginning with the chair. Hello, Anthony. Yeah, your channel has spawned quite a few other channels whose sole devotion to you borders on the obsessive. There's one right now that went live. Popeye. Well, of course. I'm here to please, Robert. And remember my words, Robert. I'm glad that I've been able to put a little bit of stride in your step. You know, once you're off the mobility bike. I'm glad that I've replaced your soap operas with my shows to give you something to live for, to something to look back on and say, well, I gotta say one thing about this guy. He kept me busy. If I didn't have him, I wouldn't be making my little shows. I would have my little time on YouTube so I could talk about something other than who's going to be at the bingo parlor tonight. Or should I wear my black socks or my white knee socks? I've given him a reason to be. I think I've helped a lot of people on here. In some way, I think I've helped everybody, if you really think about it. Popeye, I'm glad to have been in service to you. That's what I'm here for. Service to my people through past 10 years. But it comes a time, Robert, there comes a time when I gotta wave bye-bye. But I will say that you've been quite a bit of entertainment for me too. So it kind of works both ways. And to everybody else, I say, it was real. Or I could say, I was real. And most of you were not. But I enjoyed my time on here. It provided tons of entertainment for me. But life is not all YouTube. And the sooner you realize that, the better you are. It's not like I didn't put in my time. You'd think I'd at least get a gold watch or something out of this deal, but unfortunately, I walk away from this retired man, not from life, but from posting on YouTube. It's been an illustrious career. Tuesdays are Popeye's support group for those who use a colostomy bag. I know, I hate to hear that. Bingo is for the exciting weekend. Oh, I got it wrong. So bingo is on the weekend. And, okay, Tuesdays are for the colostomy bag sessions. Okay. Now I understand. I didn't get it straight, though. I'm very glad to have been able to entertain my audience, and the topic matter I've provided in the past 10 years has been phenomenal. I fought the hardest of trolls on here, and I won every single time. I don't know how I did it. I'm tenacious. I'm exacting. I'm powerful. I'm outspoken. And I make my point, and I think I've made my point a little bit more than I would like. We don't operate this channel to make money. 95% of the time, we've never been monetized, and that's in 10 years. We were never in it for the money. Nah. Because I felt I was doing a job. But somebody has to, I got to pass the torch. And somebody has to take my job. Somebody has to take my position. And I leave it up to you guys. Oh, I'll be there in spirit, of course. Of course. You're always on my mind. But I must say, as I look back into the past decade of posting on this platform we call YouTube, there was one time I never knew what the hell it was. Somebody said, you got to check out this thing. It's called YouTube. I said, how do you spell that? I thought it was U and then Tube. And then they said YouTube, like you, YOU tube. I said, I never heard of it. But when I discovered it, I used to listen in then I got kind of mm, kind of enticed to actually start my own show. And that laid to the legend of the chair. That's my legend. The chair is the legend. And nobody could compete with that. The chair. The chair. It defined all logic, really. And why so many people were drawn to the chair. The famous opening scene, empty office chair. And I slowly make my way to the chair, sit down, and I do my shows. And at the end, slowly get up off the chair, get up and turn the camera off. It was grassroots vlogging. It was unique in its own way. The chair had its own personality. Yeah. So I say with a very heavy heart that I think it's time to retire. And actually mean it this time. And in all seriousness, yeah, I've been on here for a while. Sometimes you get to a point where, you know, you kind of think you said it all. I mean, how many times you got to repeat yourself on here? And I get kind of bored with some other shows too, because a lot of people on here are just repeating the same and rehashing the same shit over and over again. And it's all I ever hear on these shows. I like to look for something unique when I listen to YouTube, and it's either someone who's trashing the Philippines or Filipinos, or trashing the government, or talking about how you know the one that got away, the juiciest Filipina. Unfortunately, I'm hearing things I don't like to hear or see. Is that grown ass adults are going after very, very, very young Filipinas. And that turned me off from the beginning. Man has no right to date a woman that could be his granddaughter or great granddaughter. We understand about the age gap out here. We see it all the time. And maybe we just become too used to it. So it's commonplace to us. But it's never been commonplace to me. I've always found the wrong in that. The wider the age gap, the less I believe that it's a loving, caring relationship. And I'm not saying that there isn't any that exist out there. I'm sure there probably is somewhere. But I don't buy it. I don't buy a lot of things on here. I don't buy the lies. I don't buy the fighting, constant fighting, name calling, and all the wannabe tough guys that hide behind their computer screen all the time from miles and miles and miles away. HAG says Barry will take over the channel. It seems like a natural fit. No one keeps Barry in jail better than Barry. He'll come here and say something stupid and lengthens his incarceration. Well, you see, it's a good statement you made there, Mr. AJG. And the reason it's a good statement is because of what I've been doing. I've always said there was a method to my madness. And I meant it, actually. I wasn't fooling around. I figured let him do his thing on here. And I did. He had free reign to say whatever the hell he wanted to say. And I let him do that. Oh, not that I didn't entice him just a little bit, but he fell right into my trap. Didn't take much. The truth came out. Well, he doesn't tell the truth. That's not what I mean. But how he really feels, who he presents himself as, what kind of a person, what kind of a character, what kind of a demeanor, what kind of a low life that he really is. I allowed him I allowed him to present himself so that people could really see who he was. Then I pushed him all the way to the point that he was knocking the Philippines government, the Philippines people, talked horrible things, that they're only good for certain things, shoveling up shit and trash. They're only good for sex to women, that they don't have an education, that they don't make any money. I let him just do what he does best. It didn't take much work for me. Then he can go back to his channel and complain about it. Yeah. So one thing you don't know, me guys, there is a method to my madness on here. And I've been doing it the whole 10 years. The whole 10 years. I'm not exacting on how many years. I'm just saying 10 years. And I've been attacked by a lot of people. And I will leave here knowing that the only thing I did on here was to be myself and to talk about whatever I wanted to talk about. I didn't hide anything. I didn't have anything to hide. Although a lot of people do. They came out here to the Philippines because they were hiding from something. They did something wrong and they had to run away. And that pertains to lots of people on here. I just let people say what they're going to say. And the repercussions from that, well, that comes later on, as it did for this guy. I just let him put his shows on when he's not supposed to be using his cell phone. I knew what I was doing. I knew exactly what I was doing. Let him use it. Let him express himself. Let him vent. Let him tell me how he really feels. Let him call me all these names that I could use as evidence against him, which I actually did. I was always several steps ahead of this guy. I said to myself, let him be himself. Just let him be. Let him be. You don't want him off YouTube. Let him stay on YouTube. I want to hear what he has to say. I want it to come out. I want to see his anger. I want to hear those words coming out of his mouth so I could record them and use them later on. He fell right into my hands. That he did. It's not that he wasn't doing nothing wrong when I say he fell into my hands like I'm some kind of a lion tamer or something, and, whip it out to him and get him all upset and he'll perform better. But he did that really on his own. It didn't take much enticement from me at all. It really didn't. Am I leaving the Philippines? I don't think so. Oh, what's this? I gotta read this. It's a special show tonight. It would take over the channel. It seems like okay, I read that. They can go back to the channel and complain about it. Right. Oh, I plan to stay. That's my plan anyway. No, I'm just going to be kind of retiring from this thing. I even got to the point that I'm trying to find YouTube shows I can actually listen to. And I'm having a hard time because we got some of the same characters out there. They're talking about the same shit all the time. Yeah, they sugarcoat it a little bit, sprinkle a little honey on something, but it's really the same shit. It's the same skits, the same material, the same rhetoric. And it's gotten old. I'm getting old. And YouTube's getting old. I think that's applying to a lot of people. There's a fly out there. You want to get him.
I didn't have that one.
Yeah. I see a fly. No, it is not my intent to leave the Philippines, unless it's voluntarily. It's not my intent. Although I'll tell you, there are people that are really trying me to get to leave the Philippines and doing whatever they can to try to make that happen. Yeah. My advice is don't fall into people's traps on here because they're always trying to trap you. Remember, nobody's your friend on here. Nobody. Don't trust anybody. And I noticed from 10 years experience, don't trust anyone. Beware of wolves in sheep's clothing, and that's exactly what's going on here. People are just looking for train wrecks. People are just looking for drama. People like Popeye live for this stuff. If he didn't have that, well, he wouldn't have nothing but his bottle of scotch and his filterless camels. Soap operas, I think, are off TV now, so YouTube became his soap opera. If there was nobody on here that he could complain about and bitch and whine about, the poor guy's going to go downhill really, really fast. Angie says, come back in a couple of weeks after that April 7 court case and share a result. No, that's the point. It is really not my duty and obligation to share anything about, and I've said too much already. He said too much. It is really not my place to do that. The trial is in a real courthouse. It's not on YouTube. And all the armchair warriors on here have their opinion about everything. They've all become lawyers now. They got the pedigree. Oh yeah, they got the document. They all became lawyers now. Boy, have I heard some really very diverse opinions about what's going to happen here, what's going to happen to him, what's going to happen to me. They're all lawyers now. I don't know. I just follow my lawyer's advice. No lawyers on here. Oh, guys, you could live without me. Except before 10 years ago, I was never here. So now I'm getting up there in age and everything else, and this is just all bullshit to me. It's coming to a point, You had a number of people that got off YouTube. Seth Style that took in his big hiatus many years. There's a lot of people that got off here. There was postcards from Cebu. I don't know, he's not on no more, but there's a lot of people that I used to listen to that are no longer here. Either they passed away, all the so-called lions and tigers are coming of age and they're dying. They lived in a very bad environment, didn't take care of themselves, and they're all dropping like flies. All lawyers without any skin in a game. Yeah, they don't have any skin in a game. Gilda, how do you feel about my retirement from YouTube? She's got a thumbs up on that. Yeah. Yeah. It's like about time. Parting is such sweet sorrow. No, it's really not. Hey, I put my time in on here. I've entertained you guys for a decade. I gave you hours and hours and hours of entertainment and knowledge. I made some of you healthier, maybe pissed off a few of you, maybe made your day whenever I do a show, because I realize as you start getting older, you get lonely, and you want to hear that voice in the dark. I'm like the light at the end of a dark tunnel to some people, and I realize I've been like that to people a long time. So I've kind of served my purpose, but it's time to put your own boots on the ground and kind of move on and, whatever you want to do, find another victim or find a show that you feel that you could listen on a regular basis. The fact is, I've always been there for you. My morning shows with my cup of tea, my philosophy. What would you do without it? Well, I guess you're going to have to find out. Oh, the puppet show. Excellente. Oh, yeah. I could do a whole YouTube channel just doing that. Have some fun. People got to learn to loosen up a little bit sometimes, you know. I loosen up on my show and dance, sing, puppet shows, you name it. You guys are just too tightly wound up. That's my opinion. You're too tightly wound. Relax, take a deep breath, you know. Release yourself from some of the drama because it's got you on your toes, some of you. What's going to happen next with who? What is he going to say next? What can we predict? What's going to happen in the court of law? What's going to happen with Barry's girlfriend's complaint? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? What's going to happen? Shit. You're going to be on fucking benzos before you fucking know it. Actually, I think Popeye's on benzos, but don't tell anybody. He won't tell you that. You didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from me. But, again, I don't know what else to say. I've talked about everything on here, and, you know, Gil's been telling me for years to get the fuck off this thing, really. But no. I had to be stubborn and had to have this attitude, well, I don't give a fuck what they say. And I never did give a fuck what anybody says, except when they go that deep and dark and ugly, say those magic words, and I'm all over them, as somebody found out. What do you need? Pardon me?
Give me your another hands.
You need another hand.
Yeah, give me.
What do you need? What do you...
Hands.
Oh, you got more of that? I don't understand it. Couch in the other room?
Yeah.
All right. Bring out the cortisone. Yeah.
No. It's okay.
Yeah, Popeye is pretty wound up, yeah. Sophie says Frank is as cool as a cucumber. Frank is wound up tight. Like a, what? I'm not wound up at all, when I maybe should be. But I'm not. Hey, man, I just take life day by day, man. It don't matter what's going on. I get up in the morning, face another day, you know. For as long as our dear Lord allows us to, you know, allows me to, you know. One day turns into a month, turns into a half year, turns into a year, turns into a decade. Because time goes by really, really, really fast. And that's why I always say, yeah, you know, if you have to go on YouTube, go on YouTube. If you like a little drama, it's okay. But you can get awfully caught up in it. It's just like a real life drama on TV, you know. Like Popeye's been doing for the past 50 years with, you know, As the World Turns, General Hospital, Days of Our Lives. There's more to life than that. I mean, there has to be. Sometimes you gotta kind of ground yourself a little bit and say, well, life is precious, so is your breath. Instead of doing stupid copycat shows and simulcasting me like Popeye's doing now, go out. Go out. Take the mobility scooter, take a ride in the park with your foo-foo dog on the handlebars, put your flags on there. Hopefully there's a good wind so the flags will wave to and fro. You know? Yeah, I know. But it comes a time when you say enough is enough, and the one fortunate thing is nobody's ever chased me off YouTube. That's the one thing that never happened to me. Some people, they just, you know, kneeled over and gave up under the stress of insults from other people. But I stayed in there for 10 years. Nobody ever forced me off YouTube unless I got striked. Then I came on again right away. But no, nobody to this date has ever gotten me to leave YouTube, put my tail between my legs. Never have. I'm very proud to say that. And I always said when it's time to go, it's going to be my decision, not anybody else's. Maybe I'm doing them a favor because it'll give them more time to free up. They could do things that are more important than make shows about me or fight with each other, and people that never really even met each other, fighting with each other, calling each other names. How immature is that? And we've all been involved. If you want to run a show, you've been involved in this community. We're all, guilty of certain levels of immaturity, and some more than others. We're grown-ass men. Start acting like grown-ass men. Boots to the ground, stand up straight and tall. If you don't have a woman, go and find a woman. That'll be a better hobby than coming on here and talking about me or whoever else you talk about. Life is out there. Just reach out for it. Grab a blue-haired lady at the bingo parlor or something. Take her for a ride on your scooter. Put a helmet on her with a scarf and just whiz down that road with the American flags just waving to and fro. That would be quite a day. Quite a day. So with that, I must say, parting is such sweet sorrow. But if you need to find out information about anything, I guess you're going to have to do your own research on here, because I'm done. This is not a court of law. You have to find out on your own. But unfortunately, if you have to ask the other guy, well, the problem is you're not going to really know what's going on because he doesn't tell the truth. So it's not like you have two opinions out there, mine and his. Because if I'm not vlogging anymore, you're just going to have to go with what he says and believe what he says. And I know that's impossible to believe. Because remember, when his lips are moving, he's lying. Yeah. Say goodbye to the people there, my lovely Gilda. Say goodbye to the people.
Goodbye, everyone. Good night.
Goodbye, goodbye. It's sorry to say goodbye. Let's go. Chorus. All right. A one, a two, and a three. Goodbye, goodbye. I'm sorry to say goodbye, goodbye, goodbye. Sorry to say goodbye. Sorry. Sometimes sorry isn't enough with some people. When you put me into the grinder, banging my head on the anvil. How much can a man take? Then you find you have to give it back with fire and fury. Take care, Sofa King. Take care, my main man, AJG, and all the other people that frequent my channel. No, this is the real McCoy. Even if I get a big announcement to make, I'm afraid I'm not going to come on and do it. You'll have to find out from somebody else, but unfortunately, I hate to tell you, it's probably going to be the wrong information. Like a case being thrown out of court or something like that, or you're not going to get prison, or they didn't take his toys away or some bullshit like that. You got to use your own judgment, okay? And I know it's really hard because when you can't trust what people say on YouTube, nobody tells the truth on here. Papa, you need a vacation, man. You definitely need a vacation. You really do. I know, he'll come back. Yeah, well, Frank, he'll be on in 24 hours. Maybe not, Popeye. The question is, what are you going to do with yourself? Go back to your masturbation sessions. That's probably more exciting, really, than listening to my show anyway, isn't it, really? I'm not that exciting. I don't know what the big hoopla is with my show. I'm just a simple man, a grassroots channel that spoke the truth. They say the truth shall set you free. Well, I know somebody that didn't tell the truth, that it didn't give him freedom. The man still hasn't learned. A perfect impression of Popeye. Stay away, Frank. Enjoy the life you built. I need to step away from this pathetic game, too. You know, best and the brightest, that's not far from the truth. I think a lot of people, and all the playing around, I think a lot of people on here are feeling the same way, too. Yeah, okay. Get cortisone. I think a lot of people are feeling the same way. I mean, I sure am. I'm so burnt out on all this legal shit. I'm burnt out on the same rhetoric on every fucking channel. Who's recording you? And look, I told you how I feel about that. It's like I'm flattered on one hand, but I'm like, what the fuck on the other, saying, do these people really have that much time on their hands to simulcast or record me and criticize me every time I come on? I'm probably the best thing that's ever fucking happened to YouTube in this community. Because I find most people in the general community boring as shit. Boring. They talk about the same shit all the time. The same shit. They just dress it up a little bit differently. How many times can you hear it over and over again? They don't know what to talk about, so it's the same thing, you know. How do you meet a woman in the Philippines? How much does it cost to live in the Philippines? Boring. I even started talking about that. But it got to a point where I limited myself and said, hey, it just comes down to one thing. It's getting expensive to live out here, and you can't live out here on X amount of money, period. You can make you try and say you're going to live wonderfully. I always said it. If you get a girlfriend, it's going to cost you more money. Anything else, you want to go out for dinner, it's going to cost you more money. You need medicine, it's going to cost you more money. You need medical help at a hospital, you'll be spending up your ass. And I know that as a fact. So, you want to move out here to the great Philippines? I say good luck. It's not what everybody sees on here. All these shows where they're only showing the good things happening in their life. Now, I'm not putting down the Philippines, I'm putting down these people. And yes, I am putting them down. Because they try to paint this, Rembrandt photograph, picture of how great their life is. And these retired people, they're not doing much. They're not doing much. They're watching fucking TV under their fan or air conditioner. Like all of us old coots are fucking doing. Maybe some of us do a little bit more, but it's all the same. They just put on a show, oh yeah, I'm killing it. It's all a facade. It's a charade. That's all it's ever been, and people buy into it. They even send them money. I'm always there laughing, saying, why are they sending money to this fool? Well, he's entertaining. Yeah, well, you know, your dog could be entertaining or something, or, you know. Why do you send money to some freakazoid? Never understood that. I'm kind of a student of human nature, but tell you what, I never understood that. That people are so bored, they need this entertainment so bad that they're willing to pay some criminal, pay some psychopath, some sociopath money to continue being a sociopath. Has your life come down to that? Really? You got a fucking Australian guy that likes to play with a punch a dildo in his shower, holds his cigarette up like a lady. We got a guy on there that makes out, sticks his tongue down ladyboys' throats in a bar. Bunch of fucking freakazoids. Is that what you want? Is that what entertains you? Watch some Netflix or something, man. You'll come out of it a lot better person. Real entertainment. Not all this made up shit and people hating on each other and calling each other names, nicknames for this, for that, criticizing your hair, your nose, your ears, your eyes, how you dress, how you talk, what your age is. When you got that much time on your hands, I leave off by saying, man, I just feel sorry for you. That's what you call having, well, not fully enjoying their retirement, but they got that much time on their hands to talk about me, little old me. As I said, I'm flattered, and 10 years of flattery, but it comes a time when you said it all and you can't think anything more to say. Got to pass the torch. Now here's the torch, and I'm going to pass it. Oh, very sad day today. Very sad day. Very sad. We're going to retire my sunglasses. We're going to retire it. We're going to pass the torch.